The Howard Stern Show.
Thank you, honey. Jackie Pennash joke page Martley. His Wild New Filthy Oleo CD come again includes Fool's Gold at all record stores. Call 1-800-323-KING.
Chinese couple had a black baby, named him something Wong.
Wednesday, November 24th, the big show at Westbury Music Fair in Westbury on Long Island. For MP3 audio and filthy 3D joke man, visit jokeland.com. Now, I think 65 people were on there yesterday, jokeland.com.
Oh, that's fun.
That's what they're saying. Well, I'm saying that's a lot.
It's jammed.
One of the interesting things about today's show is we're going to meet Bret Hart. Bret Hart is a wrestler. His brother Owen Hart recently died in a horrible accident during a WWF event. One of these flying stunts. But Bret continues to wrestle. I would think that Bret might think twice about it. But
they come from a whole wrestling family. Their father was a wrestler.
Father was a wrestler. And how you doing? This is Bret Hart, everybody. Hey, Bret. How you doing? Bret. Hey, man. Sorry to hear about your brother, by the way. Yeah. Were you close with your brother?
Extremely.
I would imagine, because you're both in the same profession, you probably could relate to one another pretty much. But do you? I know the family is suing the WWF, but you're not part of the suit.
No, just the in a case like that, only
the wife and
the wife
kids.
and the mother and the father are actually the ones that can do any kind of suing.
But you support the suit?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, because you feel that they could have made the conditions safer, or is that just something that's sort of one of those fluke things? Do you think that it was really their fault, or do you think it was one of those fluke things where, I don't know, just everything goes wrong that night? Who the hell knows?
I don't know.
Who knows?
I think what it comes down to is, it's one of those. It's like an accident,
right?
It's
hard to place blame.
Still somebody's fault,
right? Yeah.
Sooner or later it narrows down to whose fault was it, and that's where you.
And evidently, your brother was a great guy. From everyone, any of the wrestlers I've had on this show, they just talk about him in a glowing way. They feel that he was just a down-to-earth guy, not carried away with the business, not carried away with his fame and success, and was a down-to-earth, nice guy to hang with on the wrestling circuit.
Yeah, he was. I can't think of a better guy. He was such a great guy on the road. He was, and he was a great family guy.
Right.
And he had an unbelievable sense of humor. He was so funny to be around all the time. So he was never one of those kind of guys that you didn't look forward to having him around. He always liked being around. He was the best practical joker I ever met. I mean, he was just such a funny guy all the time, and he had a very subtle, kind of approach to, pulling pranks and stuff where no one ever knew he set it up kind of thing, and then you just see, you'd be pulling out of a gas station and two guys would be fighting kind of thing.
Right. He's a fun guy to hang with.
He was a master, yes.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird too, because I know a couple of the wrestlers, and they just said that a lot of the guys on the circuit could be real scumbags, like in any business. People are jerks, but he was just one of those guys people like to hang with. He was fun off air, wasn't stuck up, wasn't a jack off. So it's particularly sad when it's a good guy like that. And you and your brother were close growing up. And your father was an intense, not only wrestling fan, but was he a wrestler himself?
Yeah, he was a wrestler, and then he basically became a promoter, which means he sort of used to run the wrestling out in Western Canada.
Did you not like him? Was he one of those dads that pressured you into wrestling and forced you? Did he? Because it sounds like you had a violent family. Like you had to fight your sisters and stuff.
Yeah, it was a kind of a dog-eat-dog world kind of household,
Did your dad set it up that way?
There's still a wrestling area, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a little room they call the dungeon, which still works. But
I don't understand growing up. Like, your dad's into wrestling, so therefore all of his kids have to fight each other?
Well, no, it wasn't like that. It was like when you have 12 kids, though, that's a lot of kids. It's like a little hotel. It's like a hotel. Or
at least it's something to keep them busy and activity. If they are fighting all the time, then perhaps they can wear them out and they'll go to bed.
It's winter time most of the time, so we're kind of all stuck in the house. And
was he a wealthy man to have 12 children?
No, I mean, I think there was an illusion there where people thought we were wealthy. Like,
right.
We had a big limousine that used to drive us to school.
Oh, really?
But when you really think about it, he only bought a limousine, which is an old, beat-up old limousine.
Which are a lot cheaper than...
What are you going to put 12 kids in it?
That's true.
Had a lot of vans and stuff like that I remember in those days. But I think we grew up, there was 5 boys to start with, which there was a lot of squabbling and fighting, and usually ended up wrestling, which is relatively safe. And then there was girls, and for me... When I grew up as a kid, I grew up surrounded by the girls in the family, which wasn't ever.
And the girls are tough. I mean, you are a huge guy. I mean, you're big. You're very muscular. I would think a fight with you, the girls would get pretty, bruised up.
Well, they could hold their own.
You do not get along with your sisters now, do you?
I get along with a couple of them.
Right. Some of them you hate. Well, maybe it was set up that way.
In a group of 12 people, there's always going to be somebody out on the outs.
Yeah,
that's the truth.
Put one fire out and then you're moving to another.
Yeah.
Right. So you get along with some of your siblings.
Yeah, and it moves around all the time.
But your father was a violent man? I mean, angry man?
No, but very, well, he could have a short fuse.
Yeah, because I read something where somebody said that your dad would it was some delivery guy or something he didn't like, and he put him in a wrestling hold for hours, like a choke hold or something.
He likes to put people to sleep, I think.
Yeah, didn't he put
Actually,
him to...
there's a funny story, but my dad's actually a really compassionate guy.
Right.
You had to catch him on the right day, but there was a time when I was a kid when it was about 2 or 3 in the morning. I guess somebody tried to steal. My dad lived further out in the city than he lived a few miles out of town.
Yeah.
And I guess someone tried to steal his car. He had left the keys in it in the wintertime. I guess the guy got stuck in the driveway. And my dad went out thought it was one of my brothers, and he went out to help this poor soul, and he instead dragged him into the house. I just remember pots and pans smashing over the place.
Right.
And my dad tortured him for hours and hours and hours in the kitchen of the house. But
Can you imagine you're trying to steal a car?
And the
guy's like a professional wrestler. He catches you rather than calling the police. He just takes you into the kitchen.
Yeah, the guy has a place called the Dungeon.
Yeah, wrestles you, and then puts you in like a sleeper hold for hours. I mean, you'd rather go to the police, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it was. I was scared to death. I thought it was one of my brothers, and then I found out after that it wasn't. But he never phoned the police. He called this guy's parents up, and they picked him
No
up.
kidding.
Yeah. So in a lot of ways, I always thought that was
Cool.
pretty cool.
Oh, that's very
Hey,
cool.
he's not stealing your cars anymore.
Yeah. I know I wouldn't be doing that. That is very cool.
And nobody else is either.
And then I was reading about your personal life that you were divorced for a couple of years. So maybe this gives me hope. You were divorced for a couple of years, and now you're back. You're almost back with your wife.
Yeah, we were divorced for about a year.
Oh, for a year. But you're back with your
We're
wife now?
close. We're right on the pretty
You
much.
ready to get married again?
Well, we're just not. We're not. We're not quite.
He ain't
there
doing
yet.
it, believe me.
But they're dating.
We're negotiating again.
You are dating though.
Yeah, we're actually real happy, and she's
Was it tough? You're an attractive guy. You're a professional wrestler. You make a good living.
There's lots of beautiful women.
A lot of beautiful women, right?
Now.
It was temptation. No.
No, I think the conflict I ran into was when I worked with the WWF.
Right.
I just was forever and ever on the road. I was on the road maybe sometimes 300 times a year.
So you never even saw your wife.
So when I did come home, it was always really nice and sweet and perfect. And
Right.
And then when I switched companies, which was I work for WCW now,
Right.
all of a sudden I'm given lots of time off.
Right.
They're reasonable with my days and my schedule and stuff.
Oh, it was because you were home. That
All of a
broke
sudden
up
I'm
the marriage.
home every day,
Right,
and it's
right.
like, get it yourself.
Yeah. See, so things were good when you hardly saw each other.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you're doing the day-to-day living, and you realize, hey, this is getting to be a drag.
She had her routine, I had mine, and we clashed, and but I think we've
We worked it out.
we've compromised a lot of things, and we've changed a lot. So,
So in the time that you were single, were you able to date a little bit and get out there and mingle?
a little bit.
A little bit?
A little bit.
No good?
And so why are you going back to your wife?
Yeah. What's up with that? Explain that to us, because a lot of guys would think that your groupies and the sex
That it would be too good.
tremendous.
It's kind of strange. It seems like almost like when I was married,
Yeah.
there was way more all that.
Right.
So and then as I became like this free spirit, and you can do anything you want.
It's not
I
there.
went up to my room and hid under the blankets and put
I'm
a
hip.
chain on the door.
I think I understand that.
It's too shocking.
I think I get that.
Yeah, it just was. I don't know. I didn't have the right philosophy for it.
Yeah. So anyway, so now you're close to marital bliss again, is what you're telling us.
Pretty close.
And you really hate the WWF, aside from the fact that you probably hold them responsible for your brother's death.
Now, but even before that.
Even before that, you hate Vince McMahon, the head of the WWF. I mean, a lot of people hate him.
Yes. That's why they leave.
That's why they leave.
A lot of people have left.
I mean, when did you start hating him? I mean, how did that happen?
Well, I was always skeptical of his integrity. Let me put it that way. I think when you join the company knowing that, like, okay, I know the guy's a rat, but
But you have to
sign
work.
here. Yeah, it's you have to sign. You have to, and he was the sort of the big man on campus when wrestling. He was the only guy that could really
Put you
do the
over.
most for you in this industry anyway at that time.
I don't know Vince McMahon, so I've never worked for him. I mean, he's a sponsor of the show. He never said a bad word about me, and and I don't know anything bad about the guy. But just to play devil's advocate here, could it be a case of sour grapes that you couldn't get what you wanted from the WWF, and then you just got upset and bitter. I know sometimes ex-employees get really angry, this kind of thing. I mean, is it that?
It's not really like that. I've always had high regard for him. I think he's got the most creative mind in wrestling. You know, and,
he seems to be a great entrepreneur.
He's just a guy that he has no integrity. I don't think he's.
What do you mean by that?
Yeah. It's hard to understand.
It's kinda, you have to sort of deal with everybody that's ever worked for him. I mean, so many people that have worked for him, you always know, that he's going to kind of screw you in the end. I think it's.
I've worked for a few guys like that.
The philosophy, I think, for him is that no matter what you do for him or no matter how hard you work for him, like for me, I worked for him for 14 years. I always try to think of somebody that, in a comparable way, as far as what I did to wrestling or what I tried to do for wrestling, and I think of, like, say, Cal Ripken or something like that.
Right.
I worked over and over and over, and I was 5-time world champion.
You were very loyal.
And I did everything I ever could. I couldn't have worked any harder for him, and I always thought it was recognized and appreciated, and he always told me it was recognized and appreciated.
So when did the break come?
And then he just squished me like a bug in the end and kind of discarded.
Well, in other words, after 14 years, you probably have to go in and negotiate a contract like any performer, and you went in to ask for money. I would imagine. I'm imagining this would be the rift. I mean, would he not pay you, or would? I
went into a situation where I became like a free agent, if you can believe that, in wrestling.
Right.
And I got offered to go to the WCW for double the money.
Right.
And I turned down $1.5 million extra to stay loyal to this creepy Vince McMahon.
Right.
And I thought it was appreciated, and I said I felt that he couldn't put a price tag on the friendship and the loyalty I had with his company.
And you probably felt, hey, that's the biggest game in town. You want to play for them,
I've been with them for 14 years. I had all my, even to this day, they have all my footage, all my pictures, all my.
They own all that.
They own my career. They
That's
got
right.
A time capsule locked up in a big.
They own your history. You don't have any rights to it. Right.
And so I wanted to stay. I didn't really want to go. And 9 months later, he told me that he was going broke. The company was going broke, which is a lie.
Right.
And that they couldn't afford to meet my contract. And then he urged me to go back to the WCW to go and get my old, this offer that they laid out before. I think he did that assuming that they would say, well, that was a year ago. We don't have, and then I would be left renegotiating with him for a lesser amount. But
right.
They immediately accepted and offered me pretty much the same deal.
So they've been generous with you, the WCW.
WCW has been great with me.
They're good people.
They're good people.
That's Ted Turner's company?
Yeah, and they're honest.
Right.
But that's pretty funny to get a guy, he's trying to get himself into a better negotiating position, and he sends you off to another company?
Right.
Well, I think there was some kind of, I never understood the tactics or the reasons for where he was going, but I know in the end, I did pretty much everything he asked for, with the exception that I wanted to leave. I had one match in Canada, and it was a situation where, in wrestling, ultimately the good guy needed to win this match. Otherwise, I would really have a lot of egg on my face. And he basically gave me his word and swore that that wouldn't be a problem. And I went in the ring, and they screwed me right in front of the whole country. And
made you lose?
Made me lose. Maybe had the guy put me in my hole just as I was it was supposed to be a thing where I was just getting out of the move.
Did you think that he orchestrated? In other words,
I know it. It's all on this documentary.
But wait a second. They work out in advance who's going to win. I don't think that's any secret.
Right.
No.
All right. So everybody knows that. It's theater.
Yeah.
So they work it out. You get in the ring, and all of a sudden the gameplay switches?
Yeah.
Right in the middle of the match, they ring the bell and say I lost. And I thought,
why would
14 years, everything I've done for this guy.
They didn't have the balls to tell you up front that you were going to lose.
Right.
No, it was specifically done. I mean, it was done strictly
to humiliate
me and squish me like a. Because let's be honest here. I left the company to go work now. I'm doing like I said, did it as a favor to them. But I'm going to another company where I'm going to get paid more.
Right.
And I'm reluctantly going, but it's not a bad deal.
Right.
But just how they treated me in the end, it was.
So you still had some time to work for them before you switched.
Yeah, I had 30 days.
That's what happened.
Oh, I see.
So needless to say, at the end of that match, I did knock out Vince McMahon.
Did you, for real?
Now, for real, you punched him out.
I broke 2 bones in my hand, and I knocked him out cold, and he went down.
Wait! I got to understand this. So this is you're talking about a real fight. You're talking about a real deal. This was televised?
No, but there was this documentary crew that was following me around.
So they have it on tape.
Well, they don't have the knockout punch, but they have him coming out of the room after I punched him, and you can certainly tell he got punched.
So you walked up to him. You were so angry, and rightly so, that the game plan switched. He was standing there. You walked up. Did you say anything?
Well, I'll tell you what happened was I had gone to the dressing room, he had locked himself in his little room.
Right.
And then I stormed off to my dressing room.
This is like the real show.
I didn't think I was going to see him.
Right.
And you have to understand, he's not a small guy.
Right. Is he a tough guy?
No, he's not a tough guy.
But he's built up.
But I think he likes to imagine he is.
All right.
And
I need to see this footage.
a lot of the wrestlers, I think, were really upset.
Yes.
I meanwhile took a shower and I was just getting ready to blow out of
Because if it happens to you, it could happen to anybody.
I was really, I tell you, I was shocked and crushed. I couldn't believe they would do that to me. And,
right.
So anyway, I guess some of the wrestlers rounded him up and chased him out of his office and told him to come down and explain himself in the dressing room. And so when I came out,
at least he had the balls to go down there. Yeah.
Yeah, at least he had the balls to come down there.
Right.
And he came into the dressing room, and I just finished taking a shower. And I did have a funny vision of myself rolling around punching out Vince McMahon naked.
In ninja.
Yeah. You want to have some clothes on.
I don't want this. If they ever do a movie on this, let's do it right. Let me put some clothes on.
So you put clothes on for the event.
I told him, I said, I'm going to dry off. I'm going to get dressed.
It's hard to hit a guy when you're naked.
Yeah, you don't want to. He's right. You don't want to get into a rolling around on the floor situation naked.
Right. Loose parts.
Yeah, you can get kicked in the nuts. Yeah, go ahead. So you get dressed.
I said, I'm going to dry off. And I said, if you're still standing there, I'm going to knock you out.
Oh.
And, as soon as I dried off and tied my shoelace, I stood up and I walked over, and he sort of came toward me. You have to understand, he was surrounding me with about 4 or 5 of sort of like his henchmen. Pretty big guys, too, all ex-wrestlers and stuff.
Bodyguard types, yeah.
And I had my brother and my brother-in-law and a couple of people that were there to at least make sure that nothing happened to you.
Right.
And I knocked him out cold with one punch.
One punch?
One punch. I hit him in the jaw like an uppercut. And I actually blacked his eyes. And I remember he went down like nothing. And then they scooped him up. They picked him up by his shoulders, sat him on the chair.
Right.
And I remember he was like shaking his head and going, like blubbering kind of thing. I never sat there, and I really was in shock. I kept thinking, I can't believe I just knocked out Vince McMahon.
Really? Did you feel better?
Oh, yeah. And they picked him up, and they actually dragged him out to the door where his feet were like dragging. And that's when the video camera outside with this documentary crew picked it up. And apparently I've always been overjoyed to hear that he hated so much to be seen. He hates to be seen weak, I guess, Vince McMahon. So when they showed him being dragged down the hall.
Like a woman.
Yeah. That he wanted to buy the documentary, buy the whole show, buy anything it is, and have it be shelved somewhere and be with my other tapes.
And his yeah, right. Something else you wouldn't own is his bodyguards didn't jump on you.
No,
they allowed it to happen.
Yeah.
In a way, that's kind of weird. And
well, it wasn't like he was alone either. So it was another group of big guys. They would have had to get it on.
Why do you think he stood there when you told him you were going to punch him out? Did he probably think you wouldn't have the balls to do it?
Maybe.
That was probably it.
That, or maybe
just wanted to get it over with.
He's also the kind of guy that might have fancied himself as kind of a tough guy.
Yeah, he couldn't back down.
That he thought maybe, or that maybe it might get into some kind of like a couple, we're pulling each other's jackets, or or maybe, I'll never know. I'll never know why the hell he screwed me in the first place, and I worked much too hard for him.
And you haven't seen him since you knocked him out?
No, well, I did see him. I saw him the day after, the day before my brother's funeral, where he was his classic scum self. He met me on he pleaded and begged with me to meet him all week long after my brother passed away, through the course of the week. And I have such harsh feelings for the guy, but I kept trying to overlook that. And so I did talk with Martha's lawyers, who were in effect at that time, helping, making decisions. And they said, whatever you do, don't talk about the case.
Right.
Don't talk about the case. You can talk about anything else. But So I did meet him on the day before the funeral, and I asked him a little bit about the case. And I said, basically, he said, you don't know any more than what the newspapers know. And he said, no, I don't. And I said, well, there's no sense really talking about that then. And then I asked him about why he screwed me over. And I went into that in quite detail. I hadn't spoke to him since he did it, and I wanted a straight answer on that. And I did get one. He told me it was the biggest regret he ever had and all this kind of stuff. And then I asked him about why he carried on the show.
Yeah, I was going to ask you if it bothered you that the show went on.
It bothered me immensely that the show went on. And mostly it bothered me from the standpoint more that they made the poor wrestlers go out afterwards. There's one wrestler that was very close with Owen that was being basically pushed out through the curtain to wrestle as they wheeled my brother past him. Ooh. And I thought the whole thing was so cold-blooded. And, his logic, of course, was that there was going to be a riot and stuff like that. And I always think, I give wrestling fans a hell of a lot more credit than that. I don't think there would have been a riot or anything like that.
Bret Hart, you have a CD out.
What do you mean a CD?
Hitman Hart Wrestling with Shadows, and the documentary about Bret wrestling with Shadows is available on Bret's website, BretHart.net.
Well, what's on the CD, though? Is he singing?
Are you singing now?
No, I don't sing.
I mean, I was like, what is that?
It's all songs that are based on the documentary.
Oh, I see. Oh, it's a soundtrack.
It's a soundtrack.
Right.
And actually, it's a really good CD, and it's they take little voice work from different parts of the film and they
cut it in.
They tie it in with the songs.
Want to take a couple of phone calls?
Sure.
All right. Let's see what they got here. All right, Jerry. And then there's some kid here who claims he is Bret Hart's biggest fan.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he claims to be his son.
How you doing, Stern? How you doing, Bret?
No, nothing like that. Yes. Who is this?
This is Jerry.
Jerry, go ahead.
All right, Bret Hart, why would Vince McMahon get rid of you and keep Shawn Michaels? Shawn Michaels has been hurt for over a year with back injury, and he had knee surgery and everything. Why would he get rid of you? You were a bigger draw than Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels was like a little...
What about that? Anything to that?
I think that, I don't know, because you never know what goes on behind closed doors, but I really strongly think there's a link between some kind of a homosexual tie-in between Shawn Michaels and Vince McMahon.
What are you saying there, Bret?
Whoa, wait a second. Wait.
I'm just saying, I think it comes down to, it really does, it comes down to who's his pretty boy kind of thing. And
What are you implying that there's some...
Well, let's not say that.
It surprised me at all, and I think it's
you don't have
not
any
an
facts.
Accusation.
It's
I have
not
no facts, but I have a strong hunch that there's a little more to that than.
All right, so there's no fact to that matter. There's
He might not have hurt his back in the ring, is what you're saying?
No, I mean, what you're saying absolutely has no. You don't have no. You have no facts. You have no facts to back that up. I just want to make that clear.
Just a hunch.
Right.
Shawn
That's your hunch.
That's your hunch, by the way. I know nothing about this. I have nothing to do with it. I don't want to get involved in that.
Do you and Hulk Hogan sometimes sit around talking about Vince McMahon?
I bet.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And it's like we realize that he breaks new ground at being.
By the way, I want to say something. Both of these guys are not gay men, as far as I know.
I don't know anybody.
Right, I just want to say that. Right? I don't know I don't even know who these guys are. I mean, I know who Vince is. I don't know who Shawn Michaels is. So you're not saying that they're homosexual. You're not even implying that.
I'm saying it wouldn't surprise me.
I see what you're saying. You're saying
you don't know what.
I don't know what you're saying. I'm trying to clarify.
Right now, you don't speak English.
All right, I don't know anything. Wow. All right, let's continue. Man, you're something else.
Woo!
I'm just trying to be honest.
You might have been too honest. No, but it's a feeling you have. You don't have any facts.
Yeah,
is what you're saying.
They're all,
you didn't see
good luck
anything.
to them both.
Right, you didn't see anything.
I have never seen
quiet,
anything.
Brad. That's
I've never
enough.
said anything.
All right, okay. Bobby, what is it? You're on the air.
All of wrestling's a big scam. Bret's a big fag, and wrestling is full of a bunch of butt-sniffing homos.
Well, wow. Now, what about this, Bret? You are not a fag, are you?
No.
You are not. You're
Not a butt-sniffing homo.
You're not a butt-sniffing homo. And let me tell you something. He'll knock you out, too.
I would kick your ass, but Bret, I make you my bitch.
Oh, man, I'd love to see that.
You know, he's
I'll
not
come down
laughing.
now.
You're going to come down now?
I'm less than 200 pounds.
Well, why don't you come down here right now, and Bret will kick your ass.
That's a bunch of
He'll
bull.
knock you out with one punch.
He'll knock you out with one punch.
The only thing that's a bigger scam than wrestling is Howard Stern's fake marriage and homosexuality.
Oh, no, I'm a
You're
so
a
now
fag, Howard.
Listen to this. Brett's been accused of being a fag. Now I'm a fag.
You had a
Howard,
fake marriage.
Vince McMahon has been implied, and also some guy named Sean. Thank
Howard,
you.
Why don't you
There's
take
no
a
way to get to the
polygraph test
bottom
to
of
prove you
any
never
of it.
cheated?
I can't get, and there's no way to get to the bottom of any of this.
Yeah.
Well, I'm 100% old man.
So you said.
Except for Ralph touching my leg at Scores yesterday, which I still have a problem
He
with.
says you wrestled with him
Well,
in the bed.
he almost burnt my leg. It was a slight wrestling incident. Hey, that's a lie. You know, there's too many accusations flying.
Flying all
I
over.
feel wounded now.
Yeah, that guy really tore you one, huh?
You really hurt my feelings.
Yeah, do you want to meet this guy who claims he's your biggest fan? This is, let me introduce you to him. This is probably good for your ego to see somebody. In wrestling, a lot of guys worship guys.
Yeah, that's a little gay, don't you think?
Yeah, not on Bret's part. I ain't calling Bret gay, I'll tell you that. All right, hey, how you doing, man?
That guy.
Who is this guy?
He draws the pictures of Gary, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah, this kid.
Hi.
How old are you?
22.
22. What's your name?
I'm Robert. How are you?
You're Robert.
Yeah.
And you claim to be a Bret Hart fan?
Of course I do.
Tell me how the extent of your love for Bret.
I've been following Bret Hart since 1988.
Right.
And I've been following him ever since. And also, to prove another point, you did beat Shawn Michaels when you were in Canada a while ago. And also, you did beat him in a steel cage. That's why I know when you were up in
What's
Canada.
wrong with you?
What's wrong with me?
He knows who he beat.
Yeah, I know.
You gonna tell him that?
No, but the only reason I say that is because a lot of people in the audience don't know that, and I just want to let them know that in a steel cage, he.
You know I'm a fag? Did you just hear that guy said I was just accused of that?
You are
You don't
not a
care about
fag.
that? Of course not.
You're not a fag. You're a
Thank
man. You're a man with integrity, just like Bret Hart here.
Well, what do you want to say to Bret since you're such a big fan?
Like I said, Bret, I'm a big fan. I've been.
What do you got? Pictures of Bret on your wall?
No, not exact. I have magazines.
You carry around Bret's picture?
He has the magazine.
Well,
Some people might misinterpret that as a little bit too much fan love. You know what I'm saying?
No, but this man's got lots of integrity. That's the reason I follow him. Unlike some
Well,
of
he's a
the
very honest man. That's true.
very honest man.
Except I don't know about that accusation about Vince and Shawn.
He was just angry.
I was just saying it's a possibility.
A possibility. Okay, that I
Everything's possible.
Everything's possible.
Suspect.
You and I could be lovers for all we know.
That's right. That's why you have him on the show.
All right. I just wanted to clarify that for you so you could avoid any kind of legal action.
Both of you men
Right.
are kings of your domain. He's
Thank
the
you.
He's the excellence of execution.
What are you, a black guy?
Black guy? No, I'm Hispanic.
You're Hispanic.
Yes, I am.
Look like a black guy to me.
Thank you.
I can't tell what you are. You're very
I'm
confusing.
Hispanic. I'm
You are Hispanic.
Mm-hmm.
Brett, could you tell what he is?
I would say Hispanic.
You would say Hispanic. Robin, you think he's
I
Hispanic?
think he's Hispanic, yes.
Well, he looks black to me. That's all I'm going to say about it. Well, you're a nice guy to say that. You've got a chance to meet your hero.
Thank you, Howard.
You want to tell him you love him or something? Go ahead.
Okay, I love Bret. You're the best.
Thank you.
And I just hope, also, Howard, WCW's having some heavyweight championship tournament right now, and I just hope you're the next heavyweight champion.
Well, in a lot of ways, I'd probably still, because I never really lost that match in WWF, so I'm sort of still the world champion.
You are the world champion.
That's right.
If I win the WCW one, then I'm sort of like the universal, all-time, one single world champion.
That's why you're the excellence of execution.
Yes, Rocco, you're on the air.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, man.
Listen, that guy you got in the studio there's a scam. 1988? Yo, why don't you go back to before that when Bret was in Stampede and all that. By the way,
We're going to bleep that off the air. That's ridiculous. All right, listen. One last phone call. This is from Jennifer, a woman who will do anything for Bret.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Jennifer.
Yes, how old are you, honey?
I'm 21.
Well, that's the right age.
Oh my
Bret
God.
doesn't date anyone over 21. Is that true, Bret? Oh, that's right. He's married.
I'm not going to even go anywhere near that.
Right. Her or that statement? Well, Jennifer, what do you want to say to Bret?
But I've been watching you longer than that first goof that he had on the line. I have been watching you since I was like a little kid. And like even then, like I like guys obviously. I loved you.
You would do anything for him?
Oh, anything. I
What
swear
do you
to God,
look
and it sounds
like?
ridiculous. I don't want to sound like these other girls you have on the
Of
line.
course not. You don't sound like them. How much do you weigh?
130?
130.
Not
How
bad.
tall are you?
Like 5'7".
Well, you should be 6 foot at 130.
Oh, shut up.
Am I right, Bret?
Well,
You know something about that.
I could have expected.
No, are you heavy?
No, not at all.
You got big boobs?
They're nice. My nipples pierced.
And you would do anything to him?
Anything for him. But I...
In a death grip?
Sharpshooter.
Huh?
Sharpshooter.
Sure.
So you would do it. You want to make love to him? Is that it?
No, I more respect him as a man because I saw.
Nobody needs respect. The guy needs love.
Okay, then I love him.
You would make love to him.
Oh, I had little hearts
And you would
tattooed on
perform.
me.
And you would perform anal?
Yes.
Oh, really? Wow.
I
Well, that's-
had little hearts tattooed on me.
Brett, she would give you anal.
but you do my laundry.
Well, that's a little too much to ask.
I would not do laundry.
All right. All right. Thank you, honey.
Thank you.
All right. There it is. Well, certainly it's great to be a wrestler and have that kind of adulation. Brett, congratulations to you on your new CD, Hitman Hart, Wrestling with Shadows. And the documentary about Brett Wrestling with Shadows is available on Brett's website.
Yes,
so you
I
have to
saw
go.
bits of it. It's really good.
Just won a Gemini Award.
No kidding. So this is about sort of behind the scenes in wrestling?
It's a whole documentary and ends up catching that whole ending where I knocked McMahon out.
Oh, no. Oh, that's on this.
It's all on there.
Oh, then I will watch it. BretHart.net is the address to get that stuff.
Great black guy you left him too.
What?
Yeah. Left him with a black eye.
With yeah, he knocked him out.
Oh yeah.
Available in video stores and record stores. Have you gotten the new video yet?
Not yet. I didn't know about it until now.
Okay, well there it is. BretHart.net. Great to meet you, Bret.
Nice to be on.
Sorry about your brother.
Thank you.
And hope to see you again here.
All right.
All right. We'll be back right after these words.
Rock Radio, K-Rock.
We're back with the Howard Stern Show.
Hey now, baby. Well, we got a wild show for you today. A guy with a real wild personal life is Alan Thicke. And he's got such a conservative image, Alan Thicke. He, of course, was the host of Thicke of the Night, then went on to the very successful TV show Growing Pains.
Yeah, where he played the dad, like a conventional family.
Man, nothing conventional about him.
What's funny is now I'm looking at all the regular guys and thinking, are they as wild as Alan Thicke?
Alan Thicke's the wildest. See, here's the... Let me get him on the phone. Alan. Hey. Hey. Never mind my situation.
So that's why you're talking to me, so never mind your situation.
Yeah, I have no situation, but I'm a bed of roses. My wife ought to look at you and then realize what's going on.
Well, see, you're the king of all tabloid media. You're actually buying that stuff.
Well,
you're referring
really? It's not true?
No, I know you're talking about the wild, sexy romp in the hot tub story.
Right.
No, I wouldn't be talking about that story. No, Alan, here's what I understand.
Yeah.
You were married, originally when I met you years ago, you were married to a soap star.
Gloria Loring.
Gloria Loring, right. That one didn't work out, and I don't even think that was your fault.
How do you know?
It sort of worked out. It was 13. I was happily married 13 years. She was happily married 11.
And yeah, right. She split from you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were down on your luck. It was after Thicke of the Night, right?
Yeah, but when she read the wild, sexy romp in a hot tub story, she called and said, if you were that much fun, we'd still be married.
Right.
Yeah, because you remember the time she was dating while they lived in the same house together.
Right. Yeah, that was great for Alan's ego.
It was a big house, and he was a small guy.
and then Alan went on to Growing Pains, of course, and had tremendous success.
Right.
And then
he went and married Miss World.
Miss World, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, Miss World, you broke up with.
Well,
is that the one you with now?
Miss World deserves Mr. World. Apparently, I wasn't him.
But Miss World is the one that you're breaking up with now.
Right.
Yes.
But, here's the thing. And this is what I got to ask you, because I want to understand. I understand the first relationship breaking up. But after the first relationship, why marry Miss World? Okay, Miss World is gorgeous. Miss World is, beautiful, the whole deal. But why marry her? Why not just date her, see her, have a nice relationship? Why go through all of this hassle again with the marriage? Now you got to pay alimony and everything?
Well, it seemed like a terrific idea at the time.
Right.
And I had been single for 10 years.
Okay.
That was, and that was the, I don't deny the occasional wild, sexy romp, but it was not with any of the losers that you read about in the tabloid.
Right.
That was during the single life.
Right.
And then,
You mean you have had two girls in a hot tub?
I beg your pardon?
Of course he's had two girls in a hot tub.
No, it's possible that we were in a hot tub, and possible I was moving so fast she thought there were several of us. But this girl in that particular article was high on chlorine, believe me.
He's calling from a hot tub right now.
Yeah,
he lives in a hot tub.
I mistook her for algae.
Well, Robin, tell me the hot tub story. What was it?
Well, the woman says that I guess she was married and you were married to Gloria Loring.
Yeah, she said that the three of us were in a hot tub. But, this is the type of girl who gets invited to the pool party but not in the house, so she pees in the hot tub. I swear. I mean, the embarrassing thing, Robin, about a story like that is that anybody would believe that you would be caught dead with anyone so tacky and unattractive.
Well, to tell you the truth,
she's older now. I didn't know what she might have looked like earlier.
Well, there's only so many layers you can remove.
So, yeah, because you're pretty honest about this. But the problem is, Miss Universe, who you were married to, or Miss World, excuse me.
Yeah.
She claims that you wanted to get involved in threesomes with her.
Not necessarily.
No,
we only
she
have
didn't
that.
claim that.
Yeah,
that was another. She didn't claim that. That was another bottom feeder who writes in a story.
Right.
These are people getting their 3 minutes of fame for $100.
So you didn't want a threesome?
Pardon?
You didn't want a threesome?
I wanted a 12-some.
Oh, I see.
But wait a minute. There were also stories that, because you hosted some beauty contest a while ago.
Yeah.
This past year.
Right.
And they were claiming that you were running around making...
Oh, now that was an example of no good deed going unpunished. I took pictures with 120 of these young girls and their parents, their families, and one of them said that I put my arm on her shoulder and I said, "You did a nice job tonight." That was the big. Now, who other than a TV sitcom father would be the target of such nonsense?
All right, so wait a second. So what happened with your marriage that it's now ending? Why is Miss World leaving you?
Well, I can't speak for her, Howard, but to answer your earlier question, I was perfectly ready to be married and committed at this stage of my life.
Right.
For the rest of
that thing. Really did have enough of the single life.
But you didn't want an open marriage where you could fool around a little bit?
No. My 10 years of wild, sexy romps were plenty for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I was genuinely, completely committed to the concept of marriage for life.
Okay.
And she was very young.
Right.
And it is true that she went through some changes when she hit 30. The last of which was her address.
Right, but
Wait a minute. What
when you marry a young chick
to a woman at 30.
What change happens to a woman at 30?
Yeah, that's the question on the table.
I think that's a whole book.
Right.
Somebody could,
So you're saying she got bored with you. You didn't get bored with her.
Well, I would hate to think that it was that simple, Howard. I think, the combination of we had a baby.
Right.
And she put a career on hold and those kind of things. We didn't have any impeachable offenses.
Right.
There were no wild, sexy romps that didn't include the other person. There wasn't that kind of. But
So you had wild, sexy romps with her there.
With her there and not with anybody else there, Howard.
Oh, I see. Just the two of you.
Now you're sounding like her lawyer.
I just want to know.
Yeah.
So did you have a prenuptial agreement?
We did.
Oh, good.
We did.
So you don't get any of her money.
So you won't be wiped out.
She gets everything north of San Diego.
I see. So this is it. Now you're single again.
I am.
Are you back to dating already?
No, I haven't gotten that far yet.
Now, when you split, there was no agreement. You now had to work out the agreement after you were already separated.
No, they got a prenuptial agreement.
That's why I'm not. I haven't been dating. I've been spending all my nights with what they call a forensic accountant.
Right. Yeah, he's busy moving his accounts to the Cayman Islands.
That's right. He's trying to shift that money around.
So we do have this.
So when is the last?
Boy.
I know. When is the last time you got laid?
That would be. This is '99, right?
Right.
This would be late '96, probably.
96.
No.
No, wait a second.
It hasn't been. It's not that bad, but I am not dating.
You are not dating. And let me understand something. Well, he was probably dating last night. You know that.
He's probably got a girl there now.
Of course. You know there's one there. All right.
But if you want to put out a classified ad, I'm looking for a punctual, hygienic nymphomaniac with her own car.
Who's a former Miss World.
That not necessary. No sashes or crowns need to be prerequisite here.
Yeah, so you don't sound too broken up. So the point is that...
Well, I am. I want you to, feel my heart for a second, feel my pain.
No, I know you're...
And it is true. I mean, I did not want to be single at this stage of my life, but you take the card
Why
you're
can't you keep a marriage together?
Who are you talking to, me or Alan? Which person are you referring to?
What's wrong with the two of you?
Nothing wrong with me. I thought I was great.
No, you're not. I'm glad that
I think I'm a great.
Your pain, Howard, but I'm glad that you finally hit the tabloids because otherwise it was me and Michael Jackson.
I got to tell you something. I think I'm a great guy. I think that yes, I'm cold. I'm distant. I admit that I
have these flaws.
But I'm still very, very much fun. I think I'm sensitive. I think I listen.
It's fun when you're not there.
Well, it doesn't make a difference if I'm not there. You're having fun, aren't you? I provide a good living. I'm not stingy with the cash.
See, I'm not cold and distant. I'm hot and proximitous. I have other issues, I suppose.
You don't even know what they are.
But I too thought that I was a pretty terrific husband and was really ready for the long run this time.
I think
it surprised you.
Are you uncircumcised?
We are the poster boys for surprise.
Yeah.
Are you uncircumcised?
Uncircumcised?
Yes.
No, let me, hold on.
Maybe that was the reason.
No, I am.
But the thing is, maybe you and I should double date.
I think that between the two of us, we probably make a good guy.
Yeah, right.
Good guy.
Yeah, if one woman wants to date me and Alan Thicke, between the two of us, we might be decent. We might be good enough for one woman.
Hold together a relationship.
And we already know that I have a hot tub for 3.
You bet. All right, so the point is, Alan, you are now single.
Yes.
These rumors about you asking your wife for an open marriage or to have third partners is not true, you're saying.
No.
This is what you claim. And also you have a prenup, but although now that you have a baby, can your wife hit you up for tremendous amounts of child support? Or is that in the prenup? Or is that in the prenup?
Are babies mentioned in the prenup?
Are babies mentioned in the prenup?
No, there is nothing in California that you would do, nor would you want to do about child support payment.
Right, but
they have a computer, a calculator that figures up how much you made the last couple of years and how much your child should have.
I see.
And so this 2-year-old now has his own Jaguar.
Right.
Yacht.
The 2-year-old has more than you do at this
He
point.
has a hot tub with live-in rockets.
All right. Let me just put 1 or 2 phone calls through for you real quick.
Alan, are you going to get married again?
Yeah.
I'm not afraid, Robin. I am not afraid.
You really would get married again?
I believe in it. I believe it's the way to go.
Maybe I should say
Well,
that.
he's been very happy in his marriage as his wives aren't.
Right. He loves marriage. You know, I'm going to say that too. I'm looking to get married again too.
Well, I married young women, and when they were young. And
Don't you realize it's going to end up like this? You're a bright guy.
Are you thinking now you'll marry an older woman?
I'm thinking 65, 70.
Yeah, we'll see that happen. You know, with a guy, you subtract 30 years, and that's the age of his
And
wife.
then you subtract a couple of $1 million.
No, Alan's going to date.
Marry Miss Old World.
Yeah, he's going to date Beatrice Arthur.
She was Miss World when they thought it was still flat.
Right. That's who you need. John, go ahead. You're on with Alan Thicke.
Good morning, everybody. How are you?
Hey, Alan, are you still there?
I'm here.
All right, good. I didn't hang up on you.
You know,
Great.
this may be that cleaning woman who thought she was married to her.
Yeah. Remember the cleaning woman who jumped in bed with you?
Yeah, the nanny.
Yeah. What is it, lady?
Hey, how are you, everybody? I wanted to know if Mr. Thicke is really thick.
Are you thick?
Mr. Thicke.
All right, get out of here. Sam, you're on with Alan Thicke.
Alan, would you like to be my new daddy? This is Ashley Stern.
Oh, get out of here, you bastard. Oh, my God.
You know,
Alan, are you laughing at that?
Alan is a very good part-time father.
Yeah, you're terrific, I hear.
No, I'm not part-time. It's joint custody.
All right.
Half at her joint, half at my joint. I happen to have him these few days now.
All right. So
How
anyway,
old is your kid?
2.
Wow, that's tough.
How are you going to take care of a 2-year-old?
Oh, I'm great at it, Howard.
Really?
I don't even book any meetings those days. I just book off. We spend the whole day together. Morning to night, I do the diapers. I do the feeding. I have a great time with this.
All right.
It's a
Okay.
great time to have a baby.
Joint custody to me means you smoke a joint and she has custody. How old is Alan with a 2-year-old? I'm not going to ask that question.
Mine is 2 1/4.
How old are you now, Alan?
Yeah.
What? All right, listen. Congratulations.
Well, thank you.
And by the way, Alan has a book. I don't know. I'm congratulating him on his book.
Yeah, there's a certain irony in that.
Yeah, listen to his book. Do you think my movie's an embarrassment? Now listen to this. Alan's book, How Men Have Babies.
Yeah.
Well,
pregnant-
he's finding out.
Yeah, you have them and then your wife leaves. The Pregnant Father's Survival Guide, Mr. Family Man, is available at bookstores and Amazon.com.
Look, don't read this book. You'll wind up separated.
I know.
No, it's very good on the having a baby part.
Why don't you write a book about how to ask your wife for a threesome? Alan's new game show, by the way, Three's a Crowd, debuts at the end of this month on the Game Show Network.
Okay.
I love this. I watched last night this Regis Philbin game.
Yes.
I love it.
Yeah, the game show, they're bringing back a lot of them now.
I love it. I love when people play for a lot of money and they ask easy questions because I can answer them.
There's a possibility that you could win and you feel like the person.
I like that show, and I like the other show, the Fox Ripoff Show. Greed. I like it.
Well, if you like the hot tub story, you'll like mine because it's called Three's a Crowd. And but it's not no hard questions, Howard. It's a relationship kind of show. It should be called Who Wants to Be Regis, because everybody's bringing back the game shows now. So we're going to give it one a try.
And there's a new game show, so you want to be a millionaire, marry Alan Thicke.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Alan, thanks, man.
Hey, pleasure, and I'll be looking forward to reading about you.
Thank you. And I you.
See y'all.
Alan Thicke, everybody. Boy, that guy's, he's got more of a mess of a personal life than I do.
Well, he's got 2 exes now, at least. I think it's only 2.
So you're not going to read that about me, but I'm not saying nothing. I'm just keeping my mouth shut.
You never know.
All this is confusing to me. I don't want to be a member of this club.
I never thought you would be.
Huh? Things change.
Wow.
As happens.
I don't know how this happened.
It sure makes for interesting radio, I'll tell you that.
Sheesh.
What's up with that?
Boy, you sure can deny. You got right out of everything.
Yeah, everything is a lie.
Nothing.
Well, hey, there's a tabloid report says I'm dating a hooker. No, a porno star, a stripper, and an assistant. So, you know, I know where he's coming from.
You're denying, too, about as well as he is.
Right. What do you do? You just deny. That's all. According to him, Alan Thicke isn't his name. All right, look, let's take a break.
Another guy.
Let's take a break. Tomorrow, by the way, a girl will be here who wants to date Benji, our big fat assistant. Later this week, director Tim Burton. Big.
Always wanted to meet him.
Great director, man. That dude's a
Huge
genius.
fan of his work.
Genius. Honest to God, Tim Burton's the real deal.
You know, I hated Mars Attack when it first came out in the movie.
You like it on video?
Now, every time I see it, I have to watch it.
It's a cool movie. Mars Attacks is a cool movie. I didn't see it in the movies. I saw it on video, and it was wonderful.
Because I loved Tim Burton. I rushed right out to see it.
Yep. First time I saw it, I thought he was high.
I thought he lost his mind.
Yeah. But all his movies are great. Edward Scissorhands.
Yes. And that first Batman movie.
First Batman rules. The great Ed Wood movie. That is.
Didn't he do a cartoon as well?
I never saw that cartoon.
I saw that.
I heard people said that was good. Yeah. But the Ed Wood thing was the best.
Oh, Ed Wood is
maybe the best.
Excellent.
Yeah, I don't know if that made a lot of money, but man, it was good. That was one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Looking forward to Sleepy Hollow.
Yeah.
The Legend of Sleepy Hollow.
The Legend of Jackie Marley. So, Tim's coming in here, which is exciting. I met him at the Cannes Film Festival when I went to promote Private Parts.
Right.
And,
we're out there promoting that fairy tale.
Yeah. that Bubba mindset. Anyway,
I have no home.
Haunted.
Despised. Living like an animal. The jungle is my home.
What a performance.
But I shall show the world that I can be its master. I shall perfect my own race of people.
That's a great actor, Martin Landau.
Race of atomic supermen that will conquer the world.
Oh, my.
Now when I see Bela Lugosi, I say, he doesn't look like Martin Landau.
Right.
That's who he should be.
Well, anyway, he's coming in here, and we'll be talking to a real genius, director Tim Burton. We'll be back.
The Howard Stern Show.
Are you calling me a screaming queen or a tired fairy?
I beg your pardon. There'll be 6 tired screaming fairy queens and 1 anxious queer.
Whatever. I was checking what's on TV tonight, and
Yeah, baby.
it's the usual stuff. You know, the Wednesday night's a big night. Dawson's Creek, big favorite of mine, Robin.
And then, of course, isn't there Melrose? Not Melrose, 902.
90210, another big favorite of mine. Drew Carey is doing his show live.
In every time period. So that means he has to do it, 3 times?
I never understand that. I know people get excited about that. Like when ER went live, but people who are fans of ER said to me, it was the worst show ever. It wasn't even like regular ER. Mm-hmm. That in fact they had to do less because they were doing it live, and it wasn't like ER.
You know what I found, Howard, when I watched it?
Yeah.
That they couldn't really do like the big close-ups and stuff because they just couldn't get that intricate with it.
Well, yeah, and you know when they do a good episode, they have multiple takes. They can do different camera angles. What is it to me to be live? But Drew Carey is doing it.
And he's done this before. Like, he's got a fascination with it. You know, once he did a whole musical, you know, he's got a fascination with changing it somehow. Maybe he's bored.
Dan, you're on the air.
How you doing, Howard?
Hey,
I want to get on a death pool.
what do you mean the death pool?
You
you guys should run that game he's doing.
Yeah, right.
Like Louis Anderson.
Louis Anderson, huh? You think he's going to die?
Yeah, sure. He's about 200 cheeseburgers away.
He got very heavy, Louis.
Oh,
No, he said he'd lost some weight.
Really?
Recently, yeah.
No, this guy's so heavy, he can't even touch his manhood.
Oh, come on. Houston, the famous porno actress, who, of course, went on a date with Bret. We sent Bret, a high school senior, on a prom date with Houston.
Wow.
Yes.
Houston calling in to say hi.
Hi.
Hey, baby.
How are you?
I'm doing fine. Where are you?
I'm actually in Baldwin, New York.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, I'm here dancing at Gentlemen's Quarters this week.
Boy, I didn't know Baldwin, New York had a strip club.
Hey, Baldwin is coming up in the world.
I grew up right next to Baldwin, Roosevelt, Long Island. And Baldwin, they now call Baldwin, Africa. Did you know that? I've heard that said.
God. How are you?
I'm fine. I hear you're dating Brad again.
You do?
That's what I heard.
Is this one of these on-again, off-again things?
Yeah, I'll probably see him while I'm up here.
Are you dating him again?
Maybe.
Wow. Isn't that fascinating?
You know, she was so disgusted with him the last time.
Well, I guess absence makes the heart grow fonder.
Yeah, Robin, he was just too much for me that week.
But you think it'll be all right now? He's closer to home.
Yeah. Well, I was just concerned. I heard what was going on with you, and I was up in Mexico, and I didn't get a chance to really call you. But, wow.
Well, maybe you two silly kids can make it work.
This is one hell of a condolence call. It's like, I heard what happened to you, and I just want to say, wow.
It's just so sad. I was just so concerned.
Yeah, well, it is sad. Thank you for your concern, Houston. Houston's a very sweet person. She really is.
And I heard she's incredibly sweet until she starts drinking.
Thank you, Robin.
Thank you for reminding me.
Hey, Howard, I was just up in Mexico shooting a bukkake scene.
A bukkake?
What is bukkake?
Bukkake is where they buried me in the sand up to my neck, and
Let me get this straight. A bukkake film is where they bury you in the sand so that only your head is exposed.
Right,
and you are,
my breast.
And your breast, and you are helpless to do anything while men do things to your... I see. Well, that's quite a feat. When am I going to see that film?
Well, I think Metro Home Video is doing it as for the Extreme Vacation. It should be getting released pretty soon.
Well, there it is. Houston's new film will be a bukkake film. Bukkake.
Gang bang to bukkake.
Yeah, gang bang is passé. She's already done over 600 guys. Now it's bukkake.
I know. I think I can help Alan Thicke with his 12-something.
You're not kidding. You're all 12. All right, so Houston, and you'll be out in Baldwin, Long Island at where?
Yeah, I'm here through Saturday.
All right. Gentlemen's, what is it?
Gentlemen's Quarter.
All right, Houston, thanks.
Okay.
All right, baby.
You take care of yourself.
Thank you.
All righty.
That's the beautiful Houston. And doing bukkake movies now. How the hell do they call it bukkake?
I never heard that term before.
A bukkake movie.
Didn't even know there was such a thing.
Yeah, you know, one thing I wasn't into was bukkake.
I just shot a bukkake scene.
I just didn't know when you bury a chick in the sand that you call that bukkake. I just did a bukkake film. Maybe bukkake is the name of the director.
The first one who did it.
Yeah, like Scorsese. I did a bukkake.
And you're expecting some great explanation of what it is, and then that's what it turns out to be.
They leave it there. Elvis, you're on the air.
Hello?
Yes.
This is Lee Elvis, my man.
Go ahead.
I got a present for you. Are you ready?
Yes.
Elvis hanging up? Okay. Because Elvis had no material anyway.
Yes, Stephen.
Yeah, Howard.
Yeah, I think Elvis died again. Yes, Stephen.
I was wondering, whatever happened to the King of All Blacks?
King of All Blacks called in the other day.
Really?
Offering his condolences.
Really?
Yeah, telling me how to get back with my wife.
Really? Have you considered bringing him in as a mediator between you and Allison?
No.
No, I'm thinking of going with that guy who thinks he's Jesus.
Well, that's
All right, thank you. Speaking of my separation, here's a guy who was very thoughtful, wrote a song about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The audiences are so warm toward me.
Watch out, because his marriage soured. He's out. Here comes that horny Howard. No woman in the world is safe. Stearns out of the
There you go.
That's funny.
Wasn't that funny?
Come on, you got to realize when you do this stuff, you're opening yourself
That's
up.
right. That's right. Yeah. Don't think I didn't think of that.
Believe me, I know that was on your mind.
Mm-hmm. And one last phone call before the news. This is Bonnie. Hi, Bonnie.
Hey, how are you? From California.
All right, Bonnie.
Yes, just moved here a year ago from New Jersey. A big fan of Howard.
Yes, this is Howard.
Hi, Howard.
What can I do for you, Bonnie?
You're coming out here this weekend, I hear. My neighbor just called and was talking to someone. And she's like, Bonnie, you have to meet with Howard. This new series is coming out. You'd be perfect.
Oh, you're an actress.
Yes, well, I'm going to school for comedy.
I don't know how she would know.
I work at the comedy.
Well, I'll tell you my problem. When we're doing casting for Son of the Beach, which is one of two of the series that I'm producing out in Hollywood. One is Doomsday, the other is Son of the Beach.
Okay.
Doomsday's...
She's right for either one.
Yeah, Doomsday's a cartoon.
Okay.
Son of the Beach is a show that... best way to describe it is almost like Get Smart on the Beach, if you can imagine that. But it's a very funny program. The problem is finding, like, really beautiful bikini women.
Okay.
You know...
I jog 6 miles a day. I go to the gym. I have a personal trainer.
Who can act. Because it's not like Baywatch.
It's not like Sophie's Choice in a bikini.
No. You got to be able to deliver lines. Here's my problem.
Okay.
Like, you watch Baywatch, you see beautiful women, but they don't necessarily have to be good actresses.
Be cardboard. Okay. That's right.
Yeah, because they really aren't delivering a line.
And there's no real emotion or anything behind what they're saying.
Right. The problem with being funny is that you need to have an ability to deliver the line. If you can't deliver the line, then the audience ends up hating you because you're ruining the show.
Absolutely.
It's a little bit more difficult.
She understands.
I need like a Tia Leone, only talented.
Oh.
All right?
Well, give me a shot at
kidding.
this. Come on. Give me a shot at this. Where can I meet you this weekend? I want to...
Well, you have to listen. I don't meet people privately about this. You go through the casting person.
Of course not.
I moved 3,000 miles away.
You have to go to the casting person. There's a casting person with Fox who handles it.
Are you in the union?
Yes, I am.
You've acted in other things?
SAG. I
don't care if you SAG as long as it doesn't show on camera.
Oh, come on. Now, what casting company do I have to get a hold of? I want a shot at this. I'm going to school. I work at the comedy.
Aren't you guys in the trades?
I mean, yeah. Why don't you talk to your agent? Do you have an agent?
Yes, I do.
Right. Why don't you talk to your agent? Your agent knows where this casting is going.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
And you should really go down there if you really have an ability.
Okay. This sounds like so much fun. I mean, I love comedy. I work at the comedy club.
Well, we heard that.
Okay.
Everybody I know works. Being a waitress at the comedy club doesn't
No,
mean
I go to school. I go to the Acme in Hollywood.
Acme?
Oh, you're with Acme. I didn't realize.
Improv. It's a lot of
Well,
fun.
then you have the job. I didn't know you were.
Hey, yeah, come on, hire me. And I have looks and personality to go with it. How can you go
Who
wrong?
do you look like?
I have blonde hair. I'm 110. I have
Who do you look like?
green eyes. My neighbor has been pushing me. She's like, I'm a Heather Locklear lookalike. Hey, but not everyone has personality too. So I'm not.
So far, your personality is very annoying.
Oh, stop!
I got to be honest with you.
Oh, please.
You think because you talk a lot, you have a personality. What you're saying is not all that interesting.
Okay. Well, maybe you should see me act.
Well, I'm willing to see you act.
Act first now. Act like you have a personality.
Right.
Robin, come on. We're here together.
Teasing.
I need you.
Well, if you have the talent, then we need you. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I'm going to try to get a hold of
your agent.
Yeah, call your agent, please, immediately.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Oof. I couldn't say. I mean, Tim Stack's going to have to work with her every day.
You're going to have fun.
I'm willing to put up with her if she's got any talent. I don't know.
Are you going to have fun?
The problem is there's lots of bimbos out there. I need someone who's got some ability.
You know what I was reading yesterday? I forgot to bring up that Rob Lowe is, I guess, causing a few problems on the set of that West Wing, that new show he's on.
Yeah.
That he's being a bit of a prima donna.
Really?
Remember what's...
He's lucky to have a job after that scandal. How dare he?
Oh, that was so funny.
Well, yeah, yes, Brad.
Difficult.
Brad, quickly, come on. I got to move along.
All right. I just want to let you know they were showing on Channel 7 in Boston, Regis and Kathy Lee doing the little spoof on Regis's Want to Be a Millionaire.
Yeah.
And they went through the green room where David Letterman was, and Donald Trump's counting $1 million in another room, and they go to his private dressing room. There's like 10 Red Dogs in his cooler.
What?
Yeah, there were Pepsis and Sprites, and there were like 10 Red Dog beers.
I have no idea what you're talking about or why this is relevant to me and my audience.
But I'm calling to let you know.
Dave, go ahead. You're on the air.
Thank you, John.
Hey, Pinocchio, it's Geppetto. How are you, man? Just wanted to express my condolences. We're all on your side, and I give you a lot of credit for lasting that many years in marriage.
Oh.
Right, because you weren't able to, were you?
Exactly.
Well, if you ever saw what this guy looked like, no woman could be married to him. This is the ugly guy who I beat in a beauty pageant.
See, it made you feel better through all this
thank
stuff,
you
right?
very much. That's a very nice thought. Thank you, Dave.
brother.
Okay, bye-bye. So, what's in the news, Robin? That's the most important thing to get
There are
to.
a lot of things in the news. You know, I sometimes say to myself, thank goodness, you weren't born beautiful, because beautiful
Thank you,
people have
Robin.
a very tough time in life.
You say that to you? Oh, I see. I think you meant me.
Talking to myself.
Oh.
Looking in the mirror.
I say, thank God you're such a piece of ass. How dare you?
Get out of here.
Lucky.
No.
You have legs that go on forever.
Who was ever more beautiful than Farrah Fawcett? You know, one of the original poster girls.
Baba Booey. Baba Booey is
And
more
now in
Baba Booey.
in some magazine, Tatum O'Neal, Talk magazine, says that her father, Ryan O'Neal, used to beat Farrah.
Well, did she listen?
You think it was a hearing problem?
Might have been. Really?
Yeah.
Who would beat that beautiful?
He took over her life, her career, but there was a price, Tatum says. He had a terrible temper and was very, very violent with her. He beat her up.
Wow. Well, that's sad.
Yes, it is. You know, here's Farrah doing that Burning Bed movie, and meanwhile at home she's living that life.
No wonder she was so good in it. That wasn't acting.
That's right. She really wanted to burn somebody.
Right.
When asked if he was physically abusive to Farrah, Ryan would only say, was Farrah involved with overbearing men in a difficult situation or a difficult place? Yes, and I'll leave it at that. So he won't deny that he beat her up. He just says, yeah, I'm a difficult, overbearing man.
So not only is she beautiful, she can take a punch, is what you're saying.
I don't know.
How many rounds would they go?
Even so, apparently she was not afraid of Ryan. You know, so he'd bully and bleat, but she was never afraid.
Wow.
So, poor Farrah. You know, beautiful women are always envied. I don't think they have great lives.
Yeah.
Also in the new issue of Talk, Robin Williams reminisces about his years of drug and alcohol abuse, admitting that he doesn't remember much other than going from strange house to strange house. And they also...
what does that mean?
I guess he didn't know where he was. He just wound up in a lot of strange places because he was doing drugs.
Why, you know, all of these guys, despite what they say, they're proud of their drug use. They love talking about
I
it.
don't believe it was as bad as they say it was.
Absolutely not. It's a badge of courage now in our society to brag about your drug usage. And this started with my generation, the baby boomers.
Mm-hmm.
All of them, you go to a dinner, and all they do is brag about how many drugs they took.
Right. They were all such big druggies.
They love to get a hold. I did acid. I did pot. I did. I said, why don't you still do it?
Oh, you don't know what a reprobate I was.
Yeah, it's their way of saying, and it's Robin Williams. I was a bad guy. He probably took, you know what? He probably smoked a little doobie. Probably did coke once in a while. And now, you know, he's a cocaine addict. He couldn't remember where he was.
Blackouts. I can't remember a thing.
Yeah. I don't believe it. You know who I believe? Robert Downey Jr. I believe he's got a
Yeah,
problem.
because he would go to jail for it.
Yeah.
David Crosby, he was a druggie.
That's a drug addict. Eric Clapton, I don't believe he was on heroin. He says it. He says it like he's proud of it. I don't believe him. I think maybe he snorted something once. All these guys, like that's their Vietnam, you know? They didn't go to the war, but they were busy doing drugs.
Could you really have done drugs and think to open a rehab center on an island?
Right. You know, a real drug addict knows you don't put the drug rehab where no one can get to it. You know, please, Eric Clapton,
rehab resort.
Spare me your attempt to appear to be like an old black musician who had a monkey on his back. You know what I mean? You know, I want to be a blues man, so I have to have something I have to be sad about something. Please.
The blues guys just do their drugs and they don't complain.
They died penniless. I don't buy any of it. I don't buy Robin Williams for a second.
Especially when you can't remember any of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember the 80s.
I did plenty of drugs. And let me tell you, I remember every goddamn minute of it. Every minute.
But they also recount the story of how when Robin, I guess, was walking down the street with some other guy, and they passed Radio Man, who we call Aqualung.
Yeah.
And Williams surprises him with $244 worth of bicycling gear. So he just hands, I guess, he's got presents for Radio Man.
There's another guy called Radio Man. He's like a homeless guy or something. He's not homeless.
He's not homeless, but he hangs around movie sets all the time.
He hung around my set. It was a big pain in the ass. Everybody like buys into him. They like give him food and stuff, like a pigeon.
They feed him, so he stays.
And the big story was Whoopi Goldberg bought him a bike.
Right.
And now Robin Williams buys him some
equipment
other equipment for the bike. Meanwhile, I'm working my ass off and he's biking. I'd like to be biking.
Nobody's giving you anything.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. A real drug addict steals bicycles. He ain't giving them away. I'll show you a drug addict, Robin Williams. I can't remember anything. Like, proud of it. That's great. So big deal. You did drugs. Shut up. I want to hear from somebody who went to Vietnam. What an ass. Just shut up with your perfect life. Your drug use, and you're so proud of it.
You be quiet.
And what is his point in telling you that? So kids will idolize him?
I have no idea. It makes him cool, I guess.
It does, because you know what? When something's embarrassing, you don't talk about it.
Yeah, you can't get him to talk about marrying a nanny. He's changed that whole story.
Yeah, that he can't be honest about. The funny stuff, the real stuff, he can't be honest about. Oh, I did tons of drugs. Oh, boy, I tell you, it was horrible. I can't remember anything. You know what? Because he thinks it's cute. Ask him about the wife he married, the nanny, and he's like, that's not a nanny, she's a producer. What? No, she's not a producer. She was your nanny, you jack-off. Answer the question. Answer the goddamn question properly. That's funny. The funny stuff is what you won't talk about. Nothing funnier than my situation. His family was wealthy, grew up in wealth.
Yeah, in the lap of luxury, private schools, mansions.
And he smoked some weed. Now he's acting like he's a goddamn heroin addict.
Yeah, probably Butler brought him his drugs.
Right. You know.
Is that really being a drug addict?
I just hate these guys. Oh, I did acid. I did coke. I did... Shut up. So what? Who cares? What you did. Talk about the nanny. Talk about you ended up with the nanny, your wife's babysitter. Talk about that. That's when I'll know you've got balls. That's when you've got something going on. That's when you're talking about something that personally embarrasses you. You're too damn proud of all your drug use, you weak bastard. Get in here, you hairy ape.
Oh, my goodness. They're going to try to explain the death of David Strickland on 2020 tonight.
Who is that?
That is the guy who was on Suddenly Susan.
I don't even know who he is.
Partying with Andy Dick in Las Vegas and hung himself.
That Andy Dick is a jinx. Really? I mean, and I told him that to his face.
He killed himself in a seedy Las Vegas motel room last March, and now Diane Sawyer reveals that Strickland was a manic depressive who had attempted suicide in 1998 and had gone off his lithium medication before living his final days in a suicidal haze of drugs and booze.
But that's a real drug problem.
Sex.
When you kill yourself with drugs, then you can talk. So
but do you realize, I mean, Andy didn't know, I suppose, that the guy wasn't taking his medication, and that's why he was partying so hard.
The problem with every mental patient is they think they don't need their medication. That's the problem. They start to feel better, and then they go off their medication. And when they go off, holy mackerel, do they go off.
Yep.
And there's a guy with a problem. Not Robin Williams. He dabbled. Big deal.
So they will delve into this on 2020. They say that news radio star Andy Dick, who admitted to being with Strickland in his final hours, wasn't interviewed for the piece. However, Brooke Shields will be.
This Robin Williams has you believing he was going around like almost homeless, going from door to door in a haze. Once or twice he probably got high. We've all gotten high. We know what that is, Robin.
Yeah, Andy Dick has a drug problem.
Yeah, Andy Dick's a man.
Sam Kinison.
Yeah, they can talk about drugs.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Robin Williams wants to be like Kinison.
Oh,
he
yes,
wants to have the reputation.
Dark side. I got a dark side, too.
Oh, look at me. I got a dark side. Ooh. Look at me. I took some Tylenol. Mr. Cocaine.
So anyway, like I said, Andy Dick will not be interviewed. Diane says that they are trying to find him so they can get a statement. 2020 airs tonight at 10 o'clock.
We didn't read one story about Robin Williams, a wild night of drugs, nothing. During the supposed drug period.
Jeopardy, nothing.
Nothing. During the supposed drug period. He did movies, he did television.
Yeah, he worked all the time.
Right. He's such a drug addict. I'll tell you he was a drug addict. Sam Kinison. They threw him off a movie. They signed him to do a movie called Nanook. He shows up.
High as a kite.
High as a kite on cocaine. Him and his two buddies lock themselves in a room and start rewriting the script the night before shooting. That's a drug addict. Yeah, won't come out, and then writes this crazy script on cocaine all night and thinks it's the funniest thing ever. And they throw him off. They sue him for $5 million because he cost the studio a fortune. That's a drug addict, okay?
Yeah.
That's somebody who had a problem.
A guy who knows he's going to do Joan Rivers and Letterman,
right,
who gets drunk and comes in here and passes out after his appearance and misses both shows.
And won't come out of his hotel room because he's in there with a bunch of chicks. You know, this guy was too high to play an Eskimo. All right, it's the easiest walkthrough that you'll ever do. He never even read the original script. Read it the day he showed up on the set.
He was supposed to rewrite it. He had months to rewrite it.
Right.
He was writing it the night before.
And then was so mad at the studio. That's a drug addict. That's somebody with a problem. You never heard one story all those years Robin Williams was supposedly high. Robin Williams not showing up to the set.
Sam beat up his writer, right?
That's
Please.
Right. And then he punched out the guy in the writing session.
Let me tell you, Ronnie Zimmerman was working on that midget show where Sam played a midget.
He was the little guy, yeah, the little conscious.
He was sitting in his office one night. Sam didn't like the script. He came running in, tackled Ron, and sat on him.
No, let's have a rewrite.
There's no rewrite. He beat up Ron.
Conversation.
Ron had been working on the show for a week. He wasn't even responsible for the script. And he quit. That's a drug addict. Not Ron, I mean Sam.
That's a guy with some nights.
Right.
And he could remember.
He remembered things he forgot. But
I just want to add one detail. When Sam showed up to the Eskimo movie, they were even getting nervous when he was rewriting the night before, but the final straw was the pages were handwritten and torn out of a spiral notebook.
Right. Yeah. That was the script.
Here's the script. Here's what we're shooting today.
All right, let's go shoot.
Brian.
Brian. You're going to
Yeah.
That's a drug addict.
Yeah. Richard Pryor, who burned himself up.
Yeah.
That's a drug addict.
Sam Kinison grabbed Arsenio Hall's neck at the China Club, attacked him in front of everybody.
Oh.
That's a drug addict.
Who didn't he attack?
Right. That's a drug addict. For whatever it's worth. Robin Williams was not a drug addict. Robin Williams got high a few times. Oh, boy, I didn't know where I was. Oh, big deal. I went from house to house. Yeah, I bet you did. What house? Give me witnesses. Tell me one person that saw this.
There's nobody else who talks about the wild days with Robin Williams.
No, because there was no wild days. He got high a few times. He did some coke at a party. Oh, you wouldn't believe it. The white stuff was just hanging out of my nose, Oprah. So proud of it. She should bust his ass when he comes. See, you know what? You're so goddamn proud of it, Robin. Did you really have a problem? Why don't you talk about something that really embarrasses you, like your wife being your nanny?
Nanu.
Nanu. Oh, I hate Howard Stern. He brings up the nanny story.
And it's not true.
And it's not true. That he won't talk about. Mr. Cutting Edge. That's all.
Free associator, but it won't go there.
No, can't associate that. Mr. Drug. One more story about his drug problems. There's a lot of guys like that. A lot of guys in rock and roll all have drug problems. They don't have any drug problem. Sam Kinison had a problem. David Crosby had a problem. Jimi Hendrix had a problem.
Scott Weiland has a problem.
Yeah, Scott Weiland goes to jail instead of going on tour. He's touring the jails of this country. There's a man with a real drug problem.
That's a problem.
If he's on Oprah talking about his drug problem, I believe it.
Christian Slater has a problem. When you wind up in a stairwell naked.
Right.
You have a problem.
That's a problem. Robin Williams. I was at people's homes. You were at rich people's homes, high on a little grass.
Because you wanted to be there.
Because you wanted to watch the hair on your arms move. That's who has a problem. I got a problem.
Matthew McConaughey may have.
We got a problem.
Matthew McConaughey was arrested by the police playing bongos naked with another man in the room. That's a problem. There's this indication that something might be wrong. I don't even know if it was a drug problem. He might have more serious problems.
We don't know.
We don't know.
That is, but it's a problem.
What did you do that you going around. He's bragging about his drug problems.
He's got to tell you he had problems.
Yeah, because nobody knew. Where is evidence of this? It's unbelievable. Oh, here's Mitch Walters, old friend of Sam Kinnison's, one of his close. So yeah, Mitch.
Howard.
Hey.
Hey.
How you been?
Good, and you?
Is that really Mitch?
I don't know. It doesn't sound like
me, Robin. It's me.
Yeah.
What do you want to say?
I just want to say I was one of the guys in the room, Howard.
Right. Which incident where you had to write Nanook?
That's when we were in Hawaii rewriting it.
The night before you were set to film.
The night before we were set to film.
Yeah.
Me, Alan, Stevens, and Carl.
Right. So I'm not lying.
No, you're not lying. It's very true.
Right. All right, Mitch. You all right?
I'm fine now, yeah.
Now.
Straightened himself up. He had a problem.
Did you have a problem?
I'm in a pharmacy as we speak. I'm a pharmacist now.
Do you have a drug problem?
I have a drug problem, yes.
You do. Do you have a gambling problem?
I have a gambling problem, yes, not a drug problem.
He replaced his other problem.
I replaced my other problem with my gambling problem.
Well, there's no shame in that. You can go on Oprah.
5 out of 6 in that pick 6 last week, Howard.
Robin Williams did not have drug problems.
No.
I never saw him doing anything.
Never.
All right, thank you, Mitch.
Thank you, Howard, for everything.
Well, I don't know what I did, but...
You showed him some good times.
I sure did. Well, let's take a break.
All right.
Come back, finish up the news.
When we can't get Sylvester or Frank Stallone, the Howard Stern Show brings you their parents.
Is this Mr. Stallone?
Yeah, this is Mr. Stallone. I'm ready to jump through this phone.
All right, calm down.
Now, why is that? Why would you jump through
I just can't believe this wrinkly, mustard, vulgar woman saying things about her own family that just won't quit. She is probably the lowest vermin that I've ever known in my life, and it was a sorry day when I did beat her. But unbelievable.
Sorry day you beat me,
you are absolutely...
Let me tell you, old son of a bitch. You beat me up and put me in the hospital so many times and choked me to death so many times, and you like to go on air and say that basically you're such a nice guy. You never supported your kids. You never gave a gun.
You are the biggest
You.
Oh,
Jackie.
Jackie. Wait, don't curse.
Get this slob off the
Don't curse. Oh, man.
The Howard Stern Show, bringing absolutely nobody together. 92.3. This is Howard.
Hey, now.
Stern.
Oh, boy.
The Howard Stern
Very impressive. I'm a very important fan of that kind of intro.
Right, who was that talking?
You bet. Frank, what is it?
Howard, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man.
I just want to say it's a pleasure talking to you. But I was at a party with Jackie down in Long Island for a buddy's. My boss's actual, his brother got shot on the freeway in Long Island. And they had a party, charity party. And we asked Jackie, he was a guest, to do 5 minutes, and he wanted to get paid. Jackie, why are you so cheap, man?
Jackie, what is this?
I have no idea what he's talking about.
Jackie, you were drinking a beer at this party. It was charity for Save the Wilderness because this guy got shot, and you wouldn't do 5 minutes for free.
No idea who he's talking about.
You're saying that this is not even true.
When was this?
About 4 or 5 months ago.
Where was this?
Down in Long Island.
Where were you? What party?
Down in Long Island. It's a big place.
Where Long Island?
No, at a guy's house. It was at a guest house.
All right, thank you.
Wasn't Jackie.
Howard.
Yeah.
I got another thing for you.
This one true?
Well, you got to give me some true stuff.
Oh, I guarantee.
All right, get out of here. What else is in the news,
You're going to
Robin?
believe the next thing he said, since that one didn't work out so well.
By the way, I believe it.
I believe Jackie wouldn't work for free.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, maybe not there he didn't do it, but he's done it somewhere.
He didn't care about any charity.
La-dum-da-dee-dee-dee.
The Reverend Jesse Jackson held another rally at Eisenhower High School in Decatur, Illinois last night, protesting the school board's refusal to lift the expulsion of 7 students who were involved in a fight at a football game. 4 of the students have been criminally charged. The videotape of the fight has been released. Did you see it?
No.
Oh, it's really frightening. You would not have wanted to be at this football game.
Really?
It was like a nightmare broke out there. And they expelled 7 guys as a result. And now Jesse Jackson has come along to take up their cause. I think there are much better causes to plead, but that's my opinion.
That's his opinion.
Anyway, play number 10.
Number 10, Robin. What is this that we're listening to?
I'm not sure.
It says Jesse Jackson.
Jesse Jackson, I guess.
Lasts about 17 seconds.
no guns, no knives, no blood, and it's over. We did not see here gangs nor mob, but for these youth who are hardly identifiable in the tape, expelled from school for 2 years, and that is a very violent act.
Oh, come on. This guy's such a nut.
What is he talking about?
It was a violent fight?
Oh, they're running into the bleachers, just throwing their fists at people. You don't know what, and people are now moving out of the stands because they want to try. It could have caused all kinds of injuries if people had fallen on the stairs trying to run away from the melee that they were creating.
I don't know why he would defend these 7 idiots. Jesse Jackson loves to take on a cause like this. I don't know why.
3 high schools have been closed for the last couple of days. Now nobody's getting an education.
You know, everyone talks about Columbine. Well, here is a case where
they were actually interceding.
These kids are caught in the act. The school said you're out for 2 years, which is proper. Nobody wants to go to school with thugs and hoodlums. When people throw punches in these stands, they have serious mental problems and really need to be in some sort of facility where they can be corrected, hopefully. And I went to a school where this kind of stuff went on every day, and nobody did anything. I would have loved if a school system would have taken every idiot who punched, kicked, maimed, and otherwise subjected students to horrors that are unspeakable. I am telling you that if a school had stopped this nonsense, I would have applauded it. Nobody came to my rescue. I think this is the greatest. Jesse Jackson should go F himself.
It only lasted 17 seconds. I don't know that to be true.
Yeah, 17 seconds. Who knows what they were doing? 17 seconds. Jesse, let me hit you in the face for 17 seconds, and we'll see how you do. Let me just pummel you for 17 seconds, and we'll see how you do.
Here, Jackson says it does these kids no good to be kicked out of school. Well, school wasn't apparently doing them any good.
Right. I mean, it doesn't do us any good to go to school with them.
Let a 17-year-old youth go, can't go to high school, can't go to college.
Boo-hoo.
You make babies, you cannot raise them. I tell you, it's better that we educate them, make them take...
You educate them, you freak.
...lessons for 20 weeks.
What a lying thief.
But educate them.
Don't you rape me of my education because some kids can't sit still.
Don't just push them to the margins.
He's advocating stealing my education.
Mm-hmm. School board says it would allow the students to resume their studies next school year, and they can resume immediately at an alternative school. Here's the school superintendent, Kenneth Arndt.
Well, I hope the school superintendent doesn't back down because Jesse Jackson's there. He's a loudmouth anyway. He'll give up the cause in a couple of weeks as soon as the media is off the attention.
For nearly 6 weeks now, we've heard that these students would like to receive an education. They have that opportunity to receive the education today. But now the demands and requests are getting larger and larger.
Of course.
Yeah, now they have requests and demands.
Yeah, this is nuts.
And here's one of the parents from school, Tina Corbin. She's upset and outraged that all these outsiders are coming into their town when it's their problem.
It should be the school, the students, the parents, and the school district involved in this. Not big names bringing all the press and making everybody here look stupid.
Just say who you mean. Everyone's afraid to say his name. Jesse Jackson, that's who you mean. Just because he's a black guy, you don't have to be afraid of him. So what? So you're a racist because you criticize Jesse Jackson. Who cares? I know I've been called a racist because I say Jesse Jackson's a fraud and a creep. I don't care, so think I'm a racist. I think precisely I'm not a racist because I'm willing to criticize him.
Well, it's funny.
Not about race.
There are no leaders in this town. They need Jesse Jackson to come fix their problems.
Yeah. Well, poor black folk, they need Jesse Jackson.
They can't fix this problem on their own. Jesse just sees an opportunity to get his name in the press.
If he was the color green, he'd still be a creep. He's crazy. I mean, what's he thinking about? Insane. I mean, he gets me so pissed off, that guy. That's not a cause you take up. People punch in the face, out. Get out of the school. Who needs you, troublemaker?
If he's worried about these kids' education, raise some funds and give them some of your own money and put them in a private school. They'll be taken care of. Why are you causing the whole school system to close down?
And then, of course, in Columbine, everyone was screaming, well, why didn't everyone know that these kids were troublemakers?
They're suing the school now because the school didn't do anything.
So how does the school win? They try to get rid of troublemakers. You can't get rid of them. And then when you do get rid of them, you're in trouble also. It's nuts. All right, what else is in the
More
news?
school news. The family of a 15-year-old boy expelled from his Catholic school because of his personal website is suing. The boy's parents say Albertus Magnus High School in New York violated their son's First Amendment rights when they expelled him. They want $1 million and their son's expulsion expunged. The boy's attorney says the website was just pure entertainment. The school principal didn't see it that way. He says the site contained pornography and violence. The boy's father says he shut down the site after learning of its vulgar content, but he says there was no porn and no threats against the school.
Mm-hmm.
So all these school things in the news these days. President Clinton won't be on his way to Greece this weekend as he was scheduled to do. Instead, the Greek government says the visit will be delayed for about a week and will last less than 24 hours. This after a wave of anti-American demonstrations there. There had been word earlier that the schedule for the Clinton trip was being adjusted because of security concerns.
I was looking forward to going to Greece.
Comes as an embarrassing blow to Greece. Clinton was supposed to launch his European trip with a 3-day visit there starting on Saturday.
I like Greece. Lots of anal.
Oh. Why are the Greeks so anti-American? What's going on?
Why are the Greeks anti-American?
Mm-hmm. What did we do to them?
Remember something called the Greco-Roman Games? All right. Enough said.
You are so silly.
Yeah, I got to explain it to you?
Enough
said. Who knows?
Yeah, Greco-Roman Games.
When I'm in Greece, I use lots of grease. That's right. I don't know why. Everybody hates Americans. You know that. That's universal. Almost as sure as...
I didn't know what their particular problem was.
My old man will probably. My dad knows all that stuff.
Yeah?
Yeah,
well, he's calling and tell
he's a student of that. Dad, if you're listening, and I know you are because you're having a life, why don't you call in and tell us why the Greeks hate the Americans?
The Greco-Roman Games, he'll say.
Well, there is something involved with the Greco-Roman. There was a cheating scandal. I think Pete Rose was involved.
This is some brouhaha.
Right, Dad.
It's the Dapper Don, up close and personal with his family.
Right.
ABC broadcast prison videotapes today of John Gotti's visits with his family. Portions of the conversations in which Gotti rages that he wants to slaughter federal prosecutors who targeted his son aired on Good Morning America, and more are to be shown on 2020 tonight. ABC says the conversations were gotten from 4 hours of tapes made over 2 days in January. The network says they are fair game because Gotti is a public figure. So you're going to get to see John Gotti interacting with his family.
Right.
John Gotti's lawyer, Bruce Cutler, says ABC is on a mission to try and rip away at Mr. Gotti's dignity.
I love that guy, Bruce Cutler.
His pride and his principles.
He's the best. Got a tape and he could even defend that.
He's good.
He is good.
The tapes are made routinely by prison authorities to make sure there's no improper conduct between the inmates and their visitors. The tapes were obtained by the Daily News, which printed partial transcripts, and 2 reporters who wrote the story have since left the paper. They were hired as consultants at ABC, bringing the tapes with them.
Boy, if I ever get in trouble, I'm calling Bruce Cutler. I really am. They have me on videotape for having sex with a donkey.
Call him.
I'll call him.
They're trying to rip away at my client's dignity.
Yeah, I mean, they're just trying to embarrass Howard. He's better at denying stuff than Alan Thicke. I like that guy.
What, are you trying to say you still believe the stories about Alan Thicke, even after he talked to us here this morning?
Sure, I believe. I always believe that stuff, except when it's about me.
Police have arrested a New Jersey man who allegedly built a giant flamethrower.
Right.
They say that Albert Folks, Jr. constructed a cannon that sat on a trailer and could shoot fire 100 feet. What is he up to?
You don't think that's important?
Sell it for $10,000. A prosecutor says he demonstrated the flamethrower this month for undercover agents posing as potential buys.
I'll use it New Year's Eve.
The authorities say, or state police officials say, that the weapon could have done substantial damage.
Yeah.
Thank God there's not much of a market for this type of device.
Right.
They say that Folks is a 69-year-old man, and neighbors say he's been talking for years about building secret weapons. Well,
right.
It turns out he actually does. That is funny.
You want to speak to Radio Man?
Sure.
See what he wants. Radio Man. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, Radio Man.
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Yeah, I heard. I just was going to work, you know, if you want to call it that. And
Work?
Where do you go to work?
He goes to movie sets.
Yeah, movie sets. That's what I mean. Yeah.
You
I
don't
was heading
work
over to
there.
one.
He's
And
going to
I
work.
just said, Robin Williams bought me some bike equipment.
He didn't, right? Whoopi Goldberg did.
Yeah, but you said something about him buying bike equipment.
Is it true?
I haven't received it. This is the first time I heard about it.
Is that right? They said
I
they
don't know
did
anything
this.
about it. Where'd you hear about this?
Nah, that was Whoopi Goldberg bought him a bike.
Yeah, she bought
In
me a bike.
Talk magazine, they say they see him doing this, giving Radio Man this bicycle equipment.
No.
Talk magazine said that?
Yeah.
No. I don't know anything about it.
Although he would accept it if it's being given to him.
Oh, yeah. In a minute.
Maybe he
There's a
confused you.
I didn't
This guy just hangs around movie sets all day waiting for people to hand him
Calls
stuff.
it going to work.
Yeah. He's turned it into a job. All right, Radio Man.
Listen to this. Nicky, right? Adam Sandler gave me a part in his movie. It's called Little Nicky.
No kidding.
Okay.
Good.
Yeah, I swear to God.
All right, good luck, man.
Yeah.
All right, Radio Man.
Is that it? Okay.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
That's your shot
right.
today.
That's your shot. All right.
One ticket sold in Chicago, and it matched all the winning numbers in the big game lotto drawing. The winning ticket for last night's drawing is worth $63 million. In addition to the grand prize winner, 4 tickets that matched all 5 numbers, but not the big money ball, are worth $150,000.
Work is usually you go there because you have to.
Yeah. And you have to be there at a certain time, and
Yeah.
you have particular duties.
He gets on a bike and hangs out.
I'm going to work. I'm on my way to work.
Yeah.
But he does ride that bike all the way from Long Island, doesn't he?
Yeah. And, he looks
Into the
fat.
city.
How can he be so fat if he rides that much bike?
And he'll ride it in any kind of weather.
Yeah.
Very hardy guy.
Yep.
Little roly-poly guy.
Yep.
Bonnie Raitt once called her wedding to actor Michael O'Keefe the most momentous, heart-shaking event of her life, and now they're splitting up.
Well, I'll tell you something. I'm sure they're in a lot of pain.
They sound so wonderful.
Her husband happens to be a very nice guy.
Yes, he is.
Do you know him?
I've met him before. Yeah.
And she was lucky to have him. And I'm sure it was not his fault.
Her record company has issued a statement saying after several months of separation.
Yes. What happened? They fell apart? What do they call that? They're growing apart? Why can't people just stay with their wives?
Several months of separation.
Right.
Raitt and O'Keefe have decided to divorce.
Well, that's too bad.
They married in April of '91. Raitt's relationship with O'Keefe was the primary inspiration for her Luck of the Draw album in 1991. So, see? Now you can laugh at that album.
I don't think there's anything funny about this story, Robin, in particular. I don't find anything funny about it. I think these are two people who are in a great deal of pain, and we should all try to give them their space.
Privacy
That's right.
in this very difficult time.
Right. For the sake of their children.
What children?
Oh, no children?
No.
Well, then it's a...
Laugh yourself to death.
Go have a party. Well, that's too bad.
Yeah, you know,
I don't think we should make jokes.
I don't either. I don't know why these relationships can't work out. It started out as an autograph, and now Gary Glitter is on trial for having an improper relationship with an underage girl.
Oh, my God.
Glitter is charged with indecent assault and serious sexual assault with a woman who was 14 at the time of the alleged first offense. Prosecutors say Glitter met the girl at a hotel in 1976, then again 3 years later at a Valentine's Day concert. Glitter pulled her from the audience and sang her a song. That's against the law?
Right.
According to the alleged victim's testimony, he tracked down her parents after the show. Her mom invited him to Sunday lunch, and he stayed for 5 days. He's then accused of having sex with the girl over a 2-year period. However, under cross-examination, she admitted that she'd been paid more than $16,000 by a tabloid for that story, and she could be paid another $40,000 if Glitter is convicted.
Whoa.
The trial is expected to last until the end of the week.
Well, isn't he the guy that wrote that? Hey.
Yeah, let him off for that.
Yeah, I like that song. That is a cool song. They play it all the basketball games.
I know, it's a perennial favorite among sports franchises.
I love that. Is that him going, hey?
I don't know.
Were any 14-year-olds in the room?
14-year-olds.
Hey, that's what the song was originally. Hey, 14-year-olds, but it didn't fit.
They can understand that.
It was 14-year-olds. 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 When they play this sentencing, really cool. He walks in, the judge puts this on, and the jury stands up, and they all yell, "Hey, 14-year-old." Hey, 14-year-olds. Hey, 14-year-olds. Hey, 14-year-olds. 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 I like it. Hey, 14-year-olds. Hey, 14-year-olds. Hey, 14-year-olds. 14-year-olds. All right. I think we've got about as far with that as we could.
We can go, yes. Well, here's some good news for all of you.
Oh, finally. What, they took Jackie's new record off the market?
Zippity-doo-dah, zippity-yay. That would be violating his First Amendment rights, I guess.
Yeah,
Sue. Yesterday, I think that there was some House of Representatives movement on the satellite issue. Yes. So consumers could be the winners if cable reduces its rates. Here's Scott Cleland of Legg Mason.
Who?
Number 16, Scott Cleland.
Scott Cleland?
Yeah.
Cable is going to lose some subscribers to direct broadcast satellite because now they have a comparable product.
Yeah, you.
That's right.
What does that mean?
The House bill would allow the satellite to carry local television.
Oh, that kicks ass. I love that.
Here's Representative Billy Tozen.
That means you can get Channel 11 in New York on satellite soon?
Or Channel 2 or Channel 4.
Oh. We asked Vinny Favali about this, and he said ask Mitch.
Here's Billy Tozen, who's a representative from Louisiana.
Yeah.
He is in Washington, of course.
Cable will no longer be an effective monopoly, charging what they want, how they want, and giving you the kind of service they want, instead of the kind of service you might want.
I'm so excited. I love that satellite.
Well, let's hope this happens very soon.
I love satellite. I love cable. I love anything that brings me a picture that I can stare at instead of my wall. TV is my best friend.
I knew that you would be excited about that news.
You know, if I love anything, I love TV. That is the greatest thing, this TV. I am amazed by it every day how good it is. And I mean it. Considering the amount of incompetent asswipes I meet in Hollywood all the time, I have to.
They can get such good product.
They get such great product on.
Asswipe.
Buffy the Vampire Slayer last night was great.
Yes, it was. Angel still has some problems.
Didn't see it. I had to go to bed, Robin. Want to get to sleep nice and early so I could walk my halls at 3 o'clock in the morning, waiting for the show to start. Yeah, my life is complete.
You can't sleep again?
No. Well, what do you think?
Well, you go home.
I'll go to your house. Maybe you'll help me relax.
Yes, I could.
I bet you'd like to relax me.
Well, you go home.
You fantasize about me.
Sure I do, only I'm sleeping and don't.
Mm-hmm. How many hours sleep do you get?
Not very many.
Yeah, so I got 6. Is that enough? Went to bed at 9. I woke up at 3. Mm-hmm.
I thought you were an 8-hour man.
I am. But not lately. Because of my many issues about my personal life, I cannot sleep. I was arguing with my wife while I was laying in bed. She wasn't there.
She wasn't there.
No.
You were having a whole conversation with her.
I actually was.
Did you do both parts?
Yes, I do.
And you know how she's going to answer, and then you answer her back, and then she comes with another answer.
I got good and worked up.
But do you win? No.
No, I don't. I really don't.
Not even when you're working.
No. I'm a very good arguer, and I lose. All right, what else?
Jerry Hall says Mick Jagger still calls her 3 times a day and showers her with gifts.
Right.
Her attitude is he realized what he'd lost, and it's too late.
Right.
She tells Tatler magazine that she would have left Jagger before, but it was always too difficult, and she had the children to think of. But divorce has been the best thing for them because they had both done too many bad things over the course of the marriage.
Right.
She says she's never been without a man, but now that she is, she's loving it.
Well, there you go.
They have a perfect divorce.
Nice. Well, he lives in the house, I think.
That's what they said. Who knows?
Who knows?
I mean, they've got so many houses, and they're always traveling.
Right.
That's the way to do it. Be rich.
He calls her from down the hall.
Right.
Hello, Gary. Tevin Campbell, I told you about his woes yesterday. He was picked up and charged with soliciting sex from a male undercover police officer.
Right.
And for possession of marijuana.
Yes.
And on the internet, there are rumors that his record label is dropping him. But Q West Records says don't believe everything you read on the internet. They say they have not terminated his contract in the wake of his arrest, and they are definitely supporting him 100%. And that message of support comes from none other than Quincy Jones, the head of the record company.
Mm-hmm.
They also said Campbell's life is his personal life, and that they will not be having any more comment on it. Campbell pleaded no contest to soliciting charges on Monday. In return for that plea, the drug charge was dismissed, and he was fined in order to attend both drug counseling and AIDS prevention classes. The label says Campbell has offered no public statement about the incident or its aftermath.
Ross, why do the Greeks hate the Americans?
The Greeks hate the Americans, Howard, because they are obviously long-standing foes of the Turks, who the United States has a close relationship with, and the Greeks are also very pro-Palestinian and very pro-Arab. So they are very anti-Israel, and thus they are anti-the Americans because of Americans' close.
By the way, Ross, I believe you're right. I know that the Turks have been great friends of this country.
That's right.
They are a great country, Turkey. And they've always been supportive of the United States and allowed us to use their country for Air Force bases and things. And we have a nice reciprocal relationship. They appreciate America. And you're absolutely right. He is right. Greece and Turkey
are always at odds.
And now, so since we get along with the Turks, the Greeks don't like us. That's right.
Aren't they squabbling over some island all the time anyway? The Greeks and the Turks?
The Galapagos?
Cyprus.
Oh, Cyprus.
Cyprus. Like that. Yes.
Long
Island.
Long Island they're squabbling over.
They gave us Turkish taffy also, the Turks, and I love it.
Great stuff.
Thank you.
Thanks, Howard.
He's absolutely right.
He's probably right.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael Jackson, they say, wants to play Edgar Allan Poe in his first starring role on the big screen.
So Edgar Allan Poe is going to be a black guy who is bleached white.
Yes.
Sissy.
Who will, oh, for goodness sakes.
You having trouble believing that?
Well, all these shows are completely weird. You know, they just redid Annie. Did you know this? They just had a new version of Annie.
Yes, it was on TV this past weekend.
Right, and Daddy Warbucks. Now, this is going on during the Depression, mind you. Daddy Warbucks, one of the richest men in America, in this version, has a black secretary.
You're right. I see that for like a second, and there was a black one. I know who she was.
Right. The black
she was
woman.
Supposed to be a secretary?
They fall in love and adopt a white baby named Annie.
Wait a minute.
Now, listen, let me tell you something. If that happened in the Depression.
Daddy Warbucks would have had his money stripped from him.
You know, what's next? Daddy Warbucks is a woman? I mean.
Yeah, he's a trans.
I mean, and you know, and everyone's acting like this is normal. First of all, in the Annie, if you're going to cast a black woman as a secretary, it should be a white guy walking. What the hell you got that black woman there for? Or worse, you know. What the hell you doing marrying a black woman and adopting a white baby?
Yeah, why would you adopt a black child?
Right. Now, you say you saw it for a second. I don't even know how you could stay with it that long.
Well, I came by it on the TV, and I said, oh, what's this? And there's a bald guy, and there's a black woman, and some little girl, and she won't give him her locket. That's what I
Yeah, and on TV, they act like nothing happened.
I didn't know who these people were.
Well, now you know. Now I told you.
Okay, well, Edgar Allan Poe, The Nightmare of Edgar Allan Poe. They say that Michael Jackson has been shopping around a script.
Yeah, Moesha's going to play Jackie the Joke Man in my next movie.
And that he wants to play the part of the writer and the poet.
Well, it's outrageous.
Jodie Foster will have none of the sequel to The Silence of the Lambs. Oh. She will not recreate the role of FBI agent Clarice Starling in the sequel because she finds the turn of events in
I'll do it.
The new book not the character she created.
Oh, please.
We knew that, right, Rob?
That's right. I said the book is wonderful, only it's not her. It's not the one she created. She said, I stand to make more money doing this sequel than I've ever made in my life. But who cares if it betrays Clarice?
Oh, please, you
I thought
freak.
they were rewriting it for her, no?
Yeah. I mean, what is
what
that?
good is that?
I know.
Well, director Jonathan Demme, who won an Oscar for the first film, has already said no to the sequel, claiming it was way too violent.
Oh, please. You know, that's what happens. These people get older and they get all fidgety. What do you call that? Crotchety. Old fogies.
Well, I thought it was a wonderful book, but the ending is unbelievable.
Right. Well, she should play in the Newt Rockney story, Jody Fisher. She should play Newt Rockney. That's who she should be. Who's interested in her anyway? Nobody.
Oh, dear.
Really. I'm the new Hollywood. I've got Son of the Beach.
Oh, good.
Doomsday.
All right. Maybe you want to look at Jodie Foster for a role.
I wouldn't even put her in a beach movie. I'd cast her as a male lifeguard.
Oh, what's wrong with you?
What do you mean, what's wrong with me?
She's beautiful.
Sure.
So's Jackie.
Don't kiss me.
Guess what? Actress Glenn Close was working on some movie.
I don't even care about her.
Just calm down and listen to this story, okay? And while she was there,
yeah,
she met this woman.
Uh-oh.
Precious Bedell.
I think she was dancing for me last night.
In well, that's a good name for a stripper, isn't it?
Right.
In the Bedford Hills Women's Prison. And the actress was so impressed with the woman. She was like, well, geez, why is she in prison? You know, she's articulate. She's gotten, I think, a master's degree since she's been in prison. And they've become very good friends since her first visit.
Right.
And she recently wrote part of an application requesting that Governor Pataki grant Bedell clemency.
And what did Bedell do?
I value her friendship tremendously and have on several occasions sought out her wisdom and counsel. I believe that Precious is not a danger to others and would in fact trust her with my own 9-year-old daughter.
What did she do?
Bedell is in prison for 25 years to life for fatally beating her 2-year-old daughter in a Syracuse restaurant.
Oh, my God. Well, you know what it should be? They should let her out of jail. Glenn Close is right. And she should become Glenn Close's kid's babysitter. Nanny. That's what I think. If she feels that she is not a danger to society or to children, Glenn Close ought to put her money where her mouth is and let Precious babysit for her. If she is willing to do that, I will grant a full release. I will talk to Governor Pataki myself, who is a personal friend.
They now are trying another tax. And a couple of pleas for clemency have been turned down. They want Bedell's sentence overturned, citing 3 instances in which she says her constitutional rights were violated during the trial. Well, what about the rights of that 2-year-old girl?
Now you got me thinking. Well, thank you for that.
So now that Glenn Close has taken up her cause, we all know this woman's name.
I don't like Glenn Close. She only had one good movie.
A couple of good movies.
One.
A couple.
Name them.
Fatal Attraction.
That's the one good one.
Jagged Edge.
No good.
Yes, it was good.
Go ahead. What's the other one?
She's in Mars Attacks.
That's not a starring role. Go ahead. The puppets were the thing there.
She was in Air Force One.
She wasn't good in that. That was not a good movie.
What was that? The World According to God.
All right. She was good in that. I'll give you that.
So there you go.
Whatever.
I gave you several.
All right. Still don't like her.
I wanted to talk about Stephen King, too. I was not here the day that, I think we were off because you were sick, the day that he was on the cover of the Post, and the headline was, I May Never Write Again.
He looks terrible.
Well, he's sick.
Yeah, he was in a horrible accident. He's lucky to be alive.
Yeah, he was thrown for quite a few feet when he was hit from behind by some truck as he was jogging. And now he says he can't write. He doesn't even know how.
That's what Fred says.
He says, I think I should sit there and write, but I don't know what I'm writing.
Fred, maybe that's it. You were hit by a truck.
That's exactly it.
You were a great writer, too.
You were. I remember a time. You used to actually put a couple of things down on paper.
And I feel for him. I'm very sorry for him.
I never write anything.
And I hope that is not the case, that he will never write again.
Right.
Fred, I don't care about.
I've given up on Fred.
But Stephen King, I would like to see him write.
Right.
That's very sad.
Go read another
I was
paper.
quite hurt by that.
Anything else in the news, Robin?
Well, still in the movie theaters this week, now that Fred wants me to read another
Break Jackie's balls are funny. Break Fred's balls, not funny.
The first Pokemon movie hits theaters today. Here's a production audio scene from the movie.
I hate Japanese animation. I'm not going to go see it.
For years, we struggled to successfully clone a Pokemon to prove
it sounds like Japanese.
But you're the first specimen to survive. That is Mew, the rarest of all Pokemon. From its DNA,
what is this?
You, Mew.
I don't know anything of Pokemon.
I hate Pokemon.
So they think this is going to be a big success.
And I hate Pokemon sidekick.
Who's that?
I can't think of his name.
Joke Man.
No, you mentioned it on the air yesterday.
Pikachu?
Pikachu, I hate him.
Pikachu.
What else, Robin?
Johnny Depp, of course, is in the new movie, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow. It opens November 19th.
Tim Burton will be here, the director.
That's right. He's working with Christina Ricci.
Yes.
He's worked with her in past films, and this time she plays his love interest on this project. What was that like?
Who says this, Johnny Depp?
Johnny Depp.
All right.
This particular time with Christina was a little bit odd in terms of the fact that, I knew her when she was 9 years old, and so then to be doing a film with her where she is my love interest, we're love interest in the film.
That's kinky.
It's a little bit.
That's sick.
But, initially.
That's what's cool about movies.
Wow. That's weird.
That is weird. Weird, funny stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else, Robin?
Yes, Ben Affleck is in the new Kevin... What's Kevin Williams?
Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith?
Yes. Kevin Smith is the director.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
He is in the new Kevin Smith movie Dogma, and he was asked if it took a leap of faith for him to join this project.
Not really, actually. I really liked the script from the minute I read it. I read it when I was doing Chasing Amy, and was, dying to be in it from then, and never looked back or, had second thoughts about it. And I'm really glad I did it. Had a wonderful time. There were some great actors in it. I love working with Kevin, so it was really a no-brainer.
Chris Rock is also in the film, and he says the director, he told the director that it was better to have him ad-libbing in the film than Selma Hayek.
She was very worried I'd start ad-libbing. But, what did I tell him? I said, Kevin, I am a professional comedian. It's okay if I ad-lib a little. It's, if Selma starts ad-libbing, then you got problems.
Don't worry so much about me.
Right.
So Chris Rock is in that film, too. Natalie Portman, who was Queen Amidala in the Star Wars movie, has a new movie coming out with Susan Sarandon. It's called Anywhere But Here. Here she is telling us why she first turned down the role.
Originally, it was a sex scene, and I don't really have a problem with seeing sex on screen, but I was 16, and I just wasn't ready to do that.
Hey!
So
She's pretty hot. How old is she now?
Because I thought it was a wonderful script, and
she just started
never want to change
college, so it must be about 18 years old.
Perfect. Of what they want their film to be. And then it was a really nice surprise because they came back to me with a rewritten version of the...
Who cares?
Well, she says teens shouldn't do sex scenes on film.
Really?
Yeah.
I just think that it's kind of irresponsible sometimes for filmmakers to ask someone who's 16 or 17 to do a sex scene or to be naked on screen, because
I agree with her.
Point where for a lot of people, especially people who don't come from strong family backgrounds, to say, okay, that's attractive. This is...
All right, we get the point.
Yeah.
To hear her drone on.
Sarandon is also in this film, and she says parents lose a bit of themselves because they're so busy.
I've lost the ability to prioritize,
You have?
I don't know how many millions of dollars that I have to read, and I'm filling out the permission slips and forgetting about, and all these stupid things as a parent.
Is she on helium?
You feel like a failure when you forget the napkins and the lunch, or you.
Everybody kisses her ass. That's why I don't like her. Susan Saran rap. I just hate that they all kiss her ass like she's some kind of nobility.
She's arisen to some level.
Yeah, because she's married to Tim Robbins, and they're like on tours.
Married.
Oh yeah.
They have one of those wild relationships where they stay together, they're not married.
Yeah, we don't have to be together. We just choose to be.
This is working for us the way it is.
Her boobs must be around her ankles.
Oh.
What is it, Mark?
Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, Howard. I have some of Jackie's sales figures, first week sales on his new CD.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
He sold a whole 429 pieces.
That's good.
That's more than I thought.
Anybody would buy.
I didn't think you'd be able to find anyone to buy that.
But, you know, I pulled up a couple other comedians to kind of compare.
Okay.
Like I pulled up Dice.
Yeah.
And Dice sold a lot of CDs, man, but I don't know who to. They're not funny. And, but, you know,
Jackie sells them as they go along. He has a slow build.
Right.
Is that right, Jackie?
Dice had a big surge.
How do you know the sales figures on Jackie's CD?
I work in the record industry, so I have access to something called SoundScan.
Oh, SoundScan.
Which is actual, real, over-the-counter sales.
Jackie, imagine that, 429 albums.
Great.
Well, you know, his last CD sold 22,400 CDs.
Oh, it did?
And that's not bad, because that outsold some of Richard Pryor's CDs. And Steve Martin's Wild and Crazy Guy, since SoundScan's been around, only sold 20.
And not only that, he sells them through his 1-800 number, so we don't even have those figures. He sold over 100 on there.
The ones from the 800 numbers don't even show up.
Right. Thank you.
So I just want to let them know it's not bad first week.
Robin, there you go, 429. And rising. Before you know it, he might sell 1,000 albums.
Then he's going to be unbearable.
I think they'll drop me around 7:30 this morning.
Fiona Apple, speaking of albums, old friend of the show, she has a new album coming out. It's being praised critically. I hope that's not a bad thing.
I don't like her new video. Very annoying.
I haven't seen it. Why? Is she clothed in it?
Too much clothes.
Here she is on songwriting.
I'll start out and I'll write like some words and then I'll leave them alone for like 2 years or something like that. If
2 years? She's only 17 years old.
Me too. If I don't feel like I have enough information emotionally or just from experience to finish a thought that's been started, then I'll leave it alone until I do have that.
Cool.
You know.
What do? You write it down on a book or something?
Maybe, yeah, she keeps one of those books that
I gotta get a
writes
book.
down her songs. And
I have to write my songs down in a
maybe
book.
that's why your songs aren't working.
Yeah, I don't have a book. I like to put them away for 2 years.
Fred was hit by a truck, and you don't have a book.
Right. Anything left, Robin?
Yes. No, that's it.
Good, because
Thank you.
we have a busy afternoon today, don't we, my love?
Yes. Yes.
We're dating today.
Do you know the name of her new album?
My Sweet Robin.
No, Fiona's album.
I think it's called Come Again.
Yes, Mongolia. Pissedoffatoverything.com.
I think it's a poem, her album title.
Jackie Penthouse Joke Page Mardling, his wild new filthy oleo CD, Come Again.
Selling through the roof.
Includes 429 copies.
Still going.
Includes Fool's Gold. And all record stores are called 1-800-323-KING. Wednesday, November 24th, one big show at Westbury Music Fair. Jackie.
Not holding back sales.
Jackie rethinking.
No cabs, I'll be walking.
Oh, man.
In the new version, the next printing, it won't be there.
Wednesday, November 24th, a big show at Westbury Music Fair. The great Jackie Martling in Westbury on Long Island for fun.
24 seats.
24 seats gone so far. No, I'm sure it's almost sold out. For MP3 audio and Filthy 3D Joke Man, visit jokeland.com. Go see Jackie. Robin, it's been a busy show today.
Yes, it has.
Thank you to Alan Thicke. His book, How Men Have Babies, available at Amazon.com.
It should now How Men Have Babies Without Women.
I want to thank Bret Hart, the wrestler, for coming in. His CD, The Hitman Hart Wrestling with Shadows, and the documentary about Bret.
He's going back to his wife.
Yes, Wrestling with Shadows is available on Bret's website, BretHart.net, and available in video stores and record stores.